3, 2, 1, and we are live, people, man. EJ Boxing live with.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live.
100%, boy. To this day. Trust me, to this day. So we're live for the press conference, people. Anthony Joshua getting ready. If you don't know now, you know. Let's get some words from the big man of.
Have you worked on that and you're going to make it much easier, comfortable for yourself?
I hope so. I haven't so much worked on it because I've just taken any sparring I can get my hands on, long range fighters, short range fighters, but I just know I'm capable of keeping it long, like Klitschko did against Kim. Or if I need to fight on the inside, I've done it against someone like Tyler.
Yeah. All right. So you reckon our fans are going to see a stoppage? You reckon we get a stoppage?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All
I'm
right.
confident of it because when you look at certain fights and what made him get very it's not so much that he can't take a punch. It's just that you've got to tire him out and take his energy.
Yeah. All right. Message to the American fans over abroad. Obviously, you got a lot of support over there. Hopefully, one day you'll be over there.
Yeah.
Give a message to them, to the American fans over here in the Boxer Boys.
What's poppin'? When I come to America, I'm gonna check in.
Thanks very much, AJ. Appreciate it, man. Nice one.
All right, let's get into it. So, this is a big test, or maybe not. Maybe. How many rounds do you think? How many do you reckon you're gonna go the full distance, or
you never know. You got to approach every fight that way, round by round. You know what I mean? And then that's what the beauty of heavyweight boxing is. Once you start landing shots from round 1 through to round 4, 5, it takes its toll.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm coming from? So I plan for it to go the distance, but if it don't, then that's the route we took.
Are you ready to go the distance in terms of? Are you gonna like you say, you're gonna pace yourself to take your time as round by round?
I'll go the distance. I'm not gonna do after round 5 start blowing out my ass.
Yeah, that's what
I can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It might be tough to go 10 rounds. I've never been there before, but I've got the mental strength to absorb the punishment that my body's going to go through by going someplace I've never been in a fight. But we do it day in, day in the gym, so I'm sure I'll be able to withstand the pressure of going an extra few rounds.
Yeah, that's Anthony Joshua, boy. So that's some words and wisdom from big man. And, you know, Anthony Joshua's ready for this, man. People thinking that he might be daisical in this fight. You remember with Ruiz where he handed the belts over Ruiz. So there's a lot going on in this fight, man. I was listening to Bob Arum earlier on here. Bob Arum was saying he strongly believes that Pulev's going to win the fight. I don't see how. I don't see how. So is what it is, man. Is what it is. So right now is waiting for the presser. They got undercard the presser. So Joshua probably coming in about probably an hour. And hopefully it'll be better than the bloody what we saw yesterday. It was rubbish, yeah. With him just bloody doing the hand wraps and stuff like that, you know. Just putting on his hand wraps, I was boring, man. So hopefully we see something better from the champ, you know. Well, what picture I got? I'm put here. Anthony Joshua, boy. Pulev. That's Johnny Nelson talking in the background right now. Just getting ready. Anthony Joshua, boy. The champ. The champ is here. Yeah, they're just trying to burn clock down, innit? You know what I mean? Anthony Joshua, Pulev. There we go. Harry Kane, eh? Let me see what's going on. What's everyone saying? What's everyone saying? Anyone saying anything? Anthony Joshua, boy. Big fight nights for Anthony Joshua all the time. Is this Pulev guy gonna give him a fight? I don't know, man. We have to find out. Man. You know, it's gonna be interesting. I tell you that, right? Very interesting. How that's gonna go. Very interesting. Let me see what's Johnny saying. Johnny's talking rubbish again. Yeah, ain't changing nothing. Johnny, stop. Anyway, my predictions already laid out already. Yeah, my predictions laid out already. So just waiting for the presser. I'm very critical of what's been going on in the promotion so far. A lot of people believe that this really, if it wasn't AJ on the card, this fight card would never be pay-per-view. There's no way to justify, in my opinion, on this card that people should pay. There you go. That's it. $24.99. No way. No way. No way. It's crazy. $24.99. Yeah. In this climate, you bloody hilarious, man. In this climate, it's yeah, I'll tell you, it's a lot of money, you know. You know, like people got money like that. People got yeah, like that's the question right now, isn't it? Is this card worth 24.99? Should put it in the bloody thing, in it. Chat. Yeah, put it in the banner, man. That's what I should put it in. Yeah, this card. Is it worth it? Is this card worth bloody 24.9? You know, is it? Oh, what she said. Nah, just bother. Let me see. Put it in there. Yeah. Put it in the banner. AJ versus Pulev. Bloody hell. Is it worth that money, man? You know what? It's funny, right? Because AJ, I remember people complaining about AJ when it was a British belt. They're saying, oh, versus Dillian. And they were saying, people were saying, oh, I can't believe they're charging us for that. But it was worth the money. It was worth the money, man. It was. Dillian, it was worth the money. I can tell you that right now for free. AJ's been box office ever since, man. He is. He does this. Here we go. We're ready. They're starting. Start. Yeah, they got the card in it. They got to go through the other boys, in it. The peanut guys, in it. All right, so that's the banner. All right. Let me see what's going on. That's my banner. All right. Is AJ versus Pulev box office? Oh, box office fight, innit? I don't know who's talking now. The press has officially started, people. So let's see what's going on here. All right, there's my banner. Let's see any comments in the chat. No comments. So let's see what they're saying. Who's this guy? Who's this? Who's this right talking?
All of a sudden, you will be moving faster, and you have experienced that defeat rather than just almost being gifted all these victories.
Who's this?
You're not good enough when you take that leap. So confident that there's still a huge.
These are the undercards. These guys. This is not like a normal card, you know. Like it's supposed to be box office, yeah. People pay money for it, yeah. And it's like these fighters you got on the card, mate. But Bakole, Okolie, oh mate, makes your freaking eyes your eyes wonder. I tell you that for free. It says so much as even in the comment section. I don't even know this guy. Who's this guy? Who's this? I don't know who these guys are, man. I don't know who these guys are. Nah, I'm not interested. Not interested in these guys at all, man. I'm not. To be honest. Honest. I sound like a humbug, innit? Sound really bad. Yeah, well, this is where it is, innit? Wait until the main guys come on, innit? Wait until the main guys come on the press away. Let me see what's going on. Yeah. Let me see what Twitter's saying. Ooh, I don't know. These press conferences, they can be really a drag affair, eh? Really, they can be. But I'll tell you what, I'll give you that, yeah. Eddie Hearn prompts, yeah. They promptly started at 2 in the morning. They promptly started at 2 though. Let me see what's going on. Eddie Hearn, let me see what's going on. Matchroom. Probably on that website more than anything. When I put the name down, Amazon Relentless that. Oh, okay. Oh, they Connor Ben. Ricky Hatton's son signing, in it. I don't know about him. Maybe an amateur. Didn't know about him still. Bob Arum. What's Bob Arum saying? Maybe what Bob Arum saying.
What happens in the fight, Bob?
Well, I really think that if Joshua does Andy Ruiz,
What's that?
the rematch, runs around, my guy will corner him and pummel him. If Joshua fights Pulev, I like my guy's chances. I think Joshua's chin is suspect. I think Pulev knocks him out. Thanks for having me, and if I don't speak to you...
See, this is what I'm saying. You keep talking, Pulev's going to knock him out. You're having a laugh, mate. Let's see from my man AJ saying. Let's see what AJ is saying.
Just routine, after a good night's sleep, getting used to the hotel beds. I'll be fresh as a daisy tomorrow morning.
How much are you looking forward to getting back into the ring? Because it's been a long time, hasn't it?
It has been 12 months in a few days.
Yeah, 12 months.
Definitely looking forward to it. I've been working a lot, kind of show who's been working hard through lockdown, etc. I've been working hard on honing my craft, honing my skills. Looking forward to competing with Kubrat Pulev. Solid contender, mandatory challenge. I've been praying a lot that I can get past this one. It's going to be a tough one, but I need to retain my belts, go in there with that warrior mindset and come home victorious.
Because you keep talking about it, there's a pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. It's the road to undisputed, but no way are you going to look past Kubrat Pulev.
No, not at all. Like, out of respect, I answer certain questions about, future opponents, but, in my heart of hearts and my mind, I know that nothing else is important except for Kubrat Pulev. That's my main focus.
How much have you worked on managing to train yourself, change yourself as a fighter? Did you have a little bit of time to reflect and recharge over this last year? You've worked a lot.
Yeah, definitely. After my loss in New York, I've always been working on certain things, right? But sometimes when things are going well, it's like keep on working on your strengths.
Yeah, you don't need to change anything. Yeah.
What people call weaknesses is what I call strengths I haven't identified yet. So I see my, strengths I haven't identified. What we call weaknesses, I enhance them, I improve them. I know I feel like I've got a smooth layer now. There's not really chinks in my armor.
All right. Well, we'll see, AJ. We'll see. We'll see, AJ. We'll see. We'll see. This guy's crazy, bro. You know what I mean? So AJ been working diligently and stuff like that. We're seeing it, We'll see. We'll have to see. I'd actually, what was that? Hughie Fury behind the glove. Well, AJ, it's on you, son. It's on you, mate. Ricky Hatton, son. I don't know too much about him, but he signed my match. I find out about his son, innit? What we got here? Campbell, innit? Campbell Hatton, innit? Matthew, Ricky, and Cam. Now there's Campbell, the young boy, innit? I remember he used to follow Ricky and you see him at the fights and that all the time, innit? Was he at the fights? I can't remember, actually. Maybe he's a bit too young. He's only probably like 19, 18, innit? Probably 18. Look, another Hatton, innit? Manchester. That's what people like. Look, he's like his dad, isn't he? He's a bit tall. He's about the same height as his dad already. So he's probably going to grow into the weight. He's got a kid already. Wow. Young man. Old Campbell, innit? He's already got he's got a son or a daughter already. So the family's already there, innit? Wow. Imagine that, mate.
In perspective and supportive out the ring as well.
Yeah. Interesting to see how that's gonna work. Little father's putting their son into boxing, eh? If you're smart, you put your son's getting into the business side of it and manage and promote, innit? It's funny, father like son. When the apple don't fall too far from the tree, all that, them comments, yeah, they definitely hold shape with this one. I'll find out a bit more about him, Campbell, innit? See how his amateur was. I'm sure he had amateurs and that. He's already tattooed up on everything, boy. This young kid's already on it, innit? Time flies, though. He's similar to his dad. He does the same kind of training, isn't it? He's similar. Does the same training, tire training, body bag. It seems like he ain't as hard as his dad, though. He's quite long-armed, isn't he? Ricky had a little dig on him, man. Ricky had a serious dig. Yeah, he's quite long-armed. He's probably fighting at a higher weight. Probably fight about welterweight. And Ricky started off at 140. So I'm not too sure what weight he's going to start at. But listen, we're seeing it. We can bring the Hatton faithful. There's only one Campbell Hatton. One Campbell Hatton. Yeah, there you go. Professional boxer now, innit? What's it? National Development Champion. All right. Two Northwest champions. Okay, fair enough. So he's got a bit of a pedigree, ain't he? All right, let's get back to the presser. Let's get back to the presser. What's people saying in chat? All right, we got people. What's going on? D Jefferson, what's going on, bro? What's going on? Bob Irons, yeah, been drinking. AJ Stubbs Pulev in 5. EJ, yeah, I like AJ, but I'm not no fan of his. Yeah, I'm a Fury guy. I'm not mad, really. Man, but I believe AJ will stop Pulev from Ralph. We'll see. We'll find out, D. We'll find out, man. Good to have you over, man. We're gonna find out. I'm covering the presser live. Eddie Hearn is waiting. They're killing time. I tell you what, mate, they're not really. I tell you, they're organized in terms of their time, but the way they've done this presser, and to me, in my opinion, especially on how things are. Okay, Marco Florian, this should be interesting. This will be interesting. This Marco Florian guy, he loves talking enough junk. So let's see what he said. Let's get Eddie introduction and all that. To this date, Marco Florian, he's the new Babbage, innit? It's like they got these European imports like Babbage in that. They can talk junk. They can talk. I want to fight. I need to fight. I want to fight. That's how they are. Here we go.
The first fight on the live transmission on Saturday night, Sky Sports.
Yeah, that's why I'm gonna pay. I'm gonna pay for the event.
Two undefeated fighters.
Yeah.
This fight got made very late in the week, and I'll go on to explain that shortly. But we had something up here earlier with an incredible following with the great Ricky Hatton.
Yeah.
Campbell, this man to my right, Florian Marku.
It's got Florian.
Such support, such passionate numbers. So many people sliding in my DMs, initially with a little bit of stick, now with a little bit of love, because we're delighted to welcome Florian Marku to the Matchroom team. And social media is so powerful.
Yeah.
Stepped up a couple of days ago and got himself a big payday and a big fight and a massive opportunity to create a name for himself. Florian Marku v. Jamie Stewart, the first fight of our live transmission on Saturday night. To give
Who's going to win, innit?
Perspective, we made a fight with Florian Marku earlier in the week. Unfortunately, I think his supporters scared the gentleman a little bit, and he decided that he had a rib injury just a few hours later, which was quite convenient.
Oh, right,
well, tried to make the Chris Kondo fight. Unfortunately, he couldn't make weight, and all of a sudden, Jamie Stewart piped up on social media.
Said he
was going to cave his head in at one stage, but I know that was just to get the fight. We'll come on to that. But this is an opportunity of a lifetime.
He's already on it. He's on it.
And take gambles. Jamie, we'll start with you. Welcome.
Who's this Jamie guy? Never heard of him.
Stay ready.
He beat Nick Hennessy Jr. He's from Sheffield, isn't he?
Yeah, I did what I had to do to get the fight, because I would not want to, like sometimes the boxer might not fight because of some opponent, so I thought I could grab an opportunity to get back out there.
Grab opportunity.
There's opportunities for fighters like you, not coming through.
But the paydays on Sky, innit?
The ABAs, the Olympic background, you've got to take those chances when they come. We saw you on Channel 5. Beating Nick Hennessy, you were a junior, you were a away fighter there, you came on, you've done the business in a really good way.
Yeah. I remember that.
More is there to come from you.
I feel that there's more. I took that fight on a 2-week notice. I wasn't really training for that.
But you ain't really trained for this one either.
I've been in the gym every day.
Yeah?
I've been down lower than the weight that I am today, so I feel very comfortable, and I know he's dangerous, and that's what I want for my supporters.
Wow. This guy's on it.
I don't want to fight journeyman no more. I need to test and challenge. And
Yeah.
I know he's a big puncher, and that's just like,
But-
I'd like Rick.
Yeah.
So he's all action. He's a big
Stuart.
This is the biggest of stages. I mean, this is the World Heavyweight Championship undercard. This is live on Sky Sports.
Yeah.
Live on the Zone. And
Oh.
we're going to see you go out there and enjoy yourself.
The-
Have fun. I mean, a win for you here. I can't tell you how big a win for you would be. Talk about life change.
Yeah.
This is a game changer for you. This is a game changer for you.
I've got that many people following back home now.
Yeah.
I've got to go out and put a good show on here. I've got there's a lot of boxers in Stoke that are not with my gym.
Oh, it's from Stoke.
I think they're fake boxers that sell tickets and get the easy fights. But I want to be there fighting decent fights. I want to be there showing
All right.
I'm tough and I'm there and I'm ready.
Let's get it on, mate. Marco Florian.
You know the man called the fight out. You've got to give him
He's the noise out of London, mate.
Ross in the office went through 40 opponents, and they all turned this opportunity
40?
before Christmas, live on TV.
40 opponents.
It's going to be easy for you on Saturday. We know this man is undefeated. We know
It's a lot of opponents, man.
Therefore, he doesn't have much fear, which should lead to a fantastic fight on Saturday.
Give me a bet.
Thanks. First of all, I want to thank you for putting me in this show. I've been waiting this moment a long time. Thanks also to Joshua. About the opponent, I didn't understand really good what he was talking about, but I've been training really hard. This is my moment, and I don't care who is in front of me. I don't see opponents. I see only someone who tries to stop me from reaching my dreams. And
Okay. He's 28 years Albanian.
boxing is for me to make my life and my family life.
What's he's got? 7 wins with 5 KOs.
And thanks for all his help. as
8
well.
TNT's nickname.
Joining the team and also for this fight.
Who's this guy, Stuart?
He's quite incredible.
Stuart.
When you started telling me in the week
Start-
about the potential of fighting in Albania,
Started 28. They're both the same age.
as a business and as a company, we live.
Yeah, this guy ain't got no knockouts, man.
How real is that?
This guy ain't
we
got
know
no-
we've got a tough fight on Saturday, but this support is like something that we've never seen before.
Yes, the thing is that
This
the
guy ain't got-
NBA fans doesn't know really good my
Okay.
background. I'm not new in this game. I've been fighting since I was 12 years old. I've been
Yeah.
100
MMA, mate.
fight. I was 4 times world champion. It's not new for me. My fans have been following my career from the beginning.
Marco Florian had his first fight in Germany.
But my Albanian fans make the difference. They fill stadiums wherever I've been, and I appreciate that. Now I will win with my performance and my character.
This will be interesting. They're both the same age. Should be a good fight.
I will fight back home. I guarantee that I will feel whatever arena is.
We know Jamie will bring the smoke on
Yeah,
Saturday.
he ain't got no power.
The smoke, don't you? 147 pounds. I mean, Chris Congo.
These guys are so low down on the totem pole,
Doesn't
boy.
matter. You want to face all these guys if you get through on Saturday.
Exactly. I want to fight whoever thinks that is the best welterweight in this division. Don't bring me guys that they have bad records.
But very
Bring me
good.
the best guys that they have best records, and you see what I'm gonna do to them. When they are in the ring with me, they change. Maybe before the ring, they talk,
Chat too
"I'm
much,
gonna
man."
lose to Florian," but when they are in front of me, everything changes.
Yeah.
My speed and my power.
Yeah.
They change.
We'll see.
And you're gonna see
Keep
this
talking, tough guy.
Saturday and then the next fight. Congratulations to Jamie Stewart who accepted the fight. Respect for that, but I'm sorry for Saturday.
I know 2 great guys, 2 undefeated fighters. This is going to be all action to kick us off on Saturday night. Gentlemen, let's have a head-to-head up here, please.
Yeah, tough guy. EJ don't know. 1 minute. I'm coming. I'm just watching this head to head. What's up? Hey, you know what, D Jefferson? I'll give you a link. You can jump on, man. I'll give you jump on, bro. Marco Florian, man. Listen, most of these guys who talk all this stuff, yeah. Sometimes, yeah, like he's in shape and all them things there. I guess he's trying to fast track himself, innit? Yeah, but end of the day, most people don't even know who you are. I'll drop.
Just give us a couple of minutes just on that bit of tape there on the. Well, you can take your mask off for this. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what he has to say in it. All right, D. I'll give you a link.
Is one thing. Some people
I'll call you
say they
saying.
can't walk it, they
I
can't
paid
back
for
it up
Spurs
in the
because
first 4
Spurs is my
weeks.
guy.
You seem
But
very confident that it
was,
doesn't really matter.
wait, no way worth it. Oh, it wasn't worth it. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. I've been working all my life. This is my dream.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know how I cannot be confident. If you're not confident in this sport, then why you are doing it? We are
Yeah.
not going to dance in there. We're going to fight and
Let's find out.
I'm confident I'm good on this.
You come with a brilliant reputation. Sam Jones has done a great job in building you up. Now you have to back that up. You're going to have a lot of
Let's see,
new eyes
mate.
on you for the first time. It's the Unified World Heavyweight title that's top of the bill. It's on Sky Sports box office.
Yeah.
Maybe there might be a little bit of extra pressure. Do you feel any of this extra pressure, or are you a bit of a showman that you like this platform?
Oh, I like the pressure. I'm happy that we'll have also a crowd there. When they will scream about our fight, I feel like a gladiator, and I'm very happy to perform after 1 year.
1 minute, D. I'll just let the guy do his interview. I'll add you in.
You don't really look to win fights on points. You want to do damage and you want to score knockouts. That's true, isn't it?
Yes, because the people this is what they love. You know, they love knockouts, excitement.
This guy, man.
My style,
We'll
the
see.
power, bring this.
This guy is a bum. You guys are you're going against a bum, though. I never heard of this guy. Never heard of you either.
Yeah, plenty of wins under your belt already, but this is the start of the match journey. This is the start of the journey.
Marco Florian, man.
Where's this journey going to go? How confident are you that you're going to be able to make it to the very, very top?
Yes, see.
I believe in my abilities, and with my next fight, I will show to the world.
He's already talking about his next fight.
Of course.
You better listen. You better not overlook this guy. You know.
And to defend it back home and here in UK in London.
He said you've got this division on notice. You want the big names. Do you really believe that you're going to say to Eddie Hearn after this fight, look, I don't mind, bring me anyone? Is that true? Is there anybody that you would prefer to box?
Yeah, who you want?
I can box whoever they bring me. Whoever Eddie
Yeah,
thinks
see?
she's
Nah, he's quiet. It's payday, bro.
all the division.
He's the type of guy, if he loses, he'll probably do suicide watch, man. You're suicide watch.
They know that the real is on the rise, and they will see it.
The way that you're feeling, do you believe that you get this job done inside the distance on Saturday?
I think
That guy ain't going nowhere.
the 4 rounds with the help of that.
Thank you very much. Wish you all the best of
With
luck.
the help of God, you know, like, boy.
Okay, who
Yeah.
wants to come?
Originally, Sully Sissoko was
All right, so let's bring D Jefferson. Let's bring D Jefferson in. Let's bring D Jefferson in because he's there. My man D making his debut on EJ Boxing Lives. The EJ Boxing Live show. My man D Jefferson.
What's up? What's up, AJ? Hey,
what's going on?
You actually had me on one time before, fam.
Did I have you on my channel before? What was
yeah,
that?
you invited me on when we was talking about the PLM foolery with Tyson Fury. Remember he did that?
You know what? I can't remember. Yeah, you're probably right. My memory's bad. But you know what? Yo, what's going on, D? Hey, listen, the YouTube community is in a frenzy. I heard you and Black going backwards and forwards. I heard Blood and IOBK, BOK, Monty Brown, the whole thing on Blood situation. That was hectic over there, man. I was like, damn, man. I was like, yo, just arguing and stuff like that over stuff. That was hectic, right?
I really don't. It was like I really don't get engaged in that, but like every now and then, I had an issue with Black Horseman before.
Yeah, I know. I heard the whole thing. I watched the whole thing.
Yeah,
You was just there talking boxing, and my man he was just being rude to you all the time. And then one day you had enough of it, like you know what I mean. You said, "Yo, I ain't taking this no more," and that was it. Like, you have to stick up for yourself. That's what you got to stick up for yourself. And then, hey, listen, yeah, like you said, he ain't talking boxing. You talking boxing and this, that, the other. And on boxing, you good. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. You're doing very well for you. You got a lot of people hating on you for no reason, though, eh? Hey, what is it? You know, it's because you're successful, right? You're successful, isn't it?
I don't, you know, I always say something about athletes, right? But I always try to keep myself humble as well. Okay. So with athletes and shit, I say, well, when you get to be the best, then the hate is gonna come. All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's just a fact. I mean, look at Canelo, Joshua, Spence, Crawford. It doesn't matter. When you at that #1 status, when people think you're #1, then there's going to be a bunch of people hating. So, again, with the humility, though, no, I don't think I'm the best, but I think that for the size of my channel, I only have like 1,800 subscribers, right? I'm making a lot of noise, like because the numbers in my lives, I'm all around. You know, you see me all around on different panels and shit.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like the numbers that I'm doing on my lives, right? You know, 60 to 90 people. It don't really equate to what a channel of 1,800 usually do. And then I think people just see that, and if they feel jealous or envious, hey man, get your ass to work like I'm to work. You know, I'm involved in the boxing community. I'm involved not just on my channel. I'm involved in the boxing community. Like, countless of many channels that I support and I go over to, I kick it with them. I don't just say, hey, go subscribe to EJ. No, I go over and I check EJ out. I know you see me on some of your videos respond. I sit in your lives and I listen, right? So you just got to involve yourself in the community and people are going to notice you, you know, and that's what I do. Because I love the sport, fam. I love to talk to sports. So I'll come talk to you, World Combat, Unrivaled, Thunderdome, BDA. I'm a panelist on BDA. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, fam. I just get around.
Yeah, like Tupac, you get around for real. And so let's talk about up and coming. So initially, I put it, and you can see in the thing on the bar going across the screen. Like, was it worth it? You said you paid for Spence and Garcia, it wasn't worth it, but you supported it. Like, so elaborate.
Yeah, no, that's because that's my fighter. You got all of these fucking people. Like, I'm just gonna say the biggest group that push a lot of narratives on the YTBC. So I'll stay away from names, but I'm pretty sure we all know who that is. Collectively, with all of their subscribers and the people following them, easily they're over 1 million. But when you see these Deontay Wilder and Spence's and all these pay-per-view shows, it's never over 1 million. Just your fans and your followers and y'all clamoring on about the PBC, all of their fights should be over 1 million. But what that tells you is that they talk this shit, but they don't even support those fighters. They streaming it. Because if all of those people sitting over there, all of those lives, and 200,000-300,000 here, 180,000, they got over 1 million people following them. So why is it all of Wilder's pay-per-views, all of Spence pay-per-views, all of Tank's pay-per-views over 1 million sales? Because if all of the people online that's talking this shit, Hank this, Spence this, Wilder this, right? If that's the case, why aren't they selling at least 1 million? Because all of you idiots are behind them, right? Well, I'm really behind Spence, and I knew that the card probably won't going to be worth $75, but I want to support my guy. I truly want to be that fan that supports my guy, right? And a lot of people don't do that.
Who's your guy? You got Spence?
Well, I got top 5 fighters, and then everybody else I like them more. I just don't. But my top 5 fighters that I go for, shit, I'm on fire too. But my guys are doing well. Canelo, Jamel Charlo, Errol Spence, Teofimo Lopez, and Tyson Fury.
Okay,
those are my top 5 guys, and so I'm happy right now because all my guys are doing well. You know what I mean?
All right, well that's what's up, yo. So Anthony Joshua, like 2020, like we usually paid $19.95, and now it's $24.95. Now, some people, I look on the card, is it worth it? But the funny thing about it, it's the same with Ruiz. We probably said the same thing with Ruiz, and people's like, I don't know if it's worth it. But when Anthony Joshua lost, everyone was like, well, I think it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, Anthony Joshua getting knocked out. Ruiz, if you paid your money, yeah, you got your money's worth now. Not necessarily say, okay, because Joshua, this is the thing about Joshua, right? One thing you can guarantee, he usually goes for the knockout, and you know what I mean? Or he usually goes knockout, or now we know that he can get knocked out. It's definitely worth your money tuning in to see what's going to happen. So even though I'm saying, are people going to pay for the $24.95? I'm still gonna pay for it because I'm gonna support. I support the boxing, so I'm gonna pay for it probably. So because I don't want my stream breaking up. Like I didn't pay for the Klitschko and Joshua, and I had a stream and it just cut off like before the action, before Joshua got knocked out, and I had a migraine, bro, because I didn't know what was going on. I had to listen to people telling me, in the live what was going on. So I don't want to be going through that again. So I'm just gonna go live, man.
Oh yeah. I think that it's on ESPN Plus over here.
Yeah. 100%.
But I will say this though, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a fan of Anthony Joshua's, but some boxers I like and some of them I just don't go for. Like I'm a fan of Jamel Charlo, but his brother, I don't go for him. Like I don't advocate for him, I don't root for him or anything. But with Anthony Joshua, I actually like Anthony Joshua.
Who's that, YG? Oh, that YG? Oh, what's up, YG? Hey, YG, you could jump in as well, man. The link's there, YG. If you want to jump in, I hear what you're saying. We're still waiting for the main guys. We got these underlings, man. Let's see what this underling is saying. Because, I ain't impressed by these dudes here, man. I'm just letting you know.
I don't know most of them, but yeah, let's check them out.
I don't know who they are. I don't know who they are either. This guy, this guy's got a runny nose. He needs to wipe his nose.
Oh shit.
I know this guy. This guy's got a runny nose. I know who this guy is.
I hope he don't come up with the thing. You know, I think we're using that illness to delay fights.
This guy looks like this guy looks crazy, bro.
I've chose to take this fight. Forget the week's notice. Forget everything. I've chose to take this fight. So that's where we're at. Quickly, the Bumblebee. You're going to wear Bumblebee shorts. What's the Bumblebee versus synonymous with Manchester, obviously. I'm going to use the shots from the last fight with my daughter's name in the front and my son's name on the back.
Yeah, he's fighting for the money.
The Bumblebee quote comes from watching Bees with my family. Obviously, I film Bees. So, a good quote. Listen, go well. Thanks very much for joining us. Wish you all the best of luck.
My man needs to get his teeth done, bro. Let's move on to the next guy. Let's keep rolling on. What's up, White? Let me see if YG's jumped in. Here's Eddie Hearn back. I want to hear from Anna Smith. YG don't want to jump. YG don't want that smoke. That's what it is. Me and D gonna work that. Me and D gonna work you over, bro. Hey, yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. The drama on the drama I see on the YouTube boxing community, yeah, it's crazy, bro. I just try and stay away from that stuff. You know, you just trying to have a good conversation. Who this here? Oh, hey, who this here? Is this Bakole? Who this? Who are these two on the stage right now? Let me see. Is that Lawrence Okolie? Bakole. This is the new signing, Bakole, isn't it? I don't know. Yeah. You know about Bakole?
Yeah, a little bit. He's pretty. He's awkward. He's an awkward fighter, and the height and the way he moves, it causes a lot of fighters problems. I think personally his power is questionable, but he has some awkward movement, and he's tall and rangy, so he's gonna cause fighters problems.
Sergey Kuzmin, this is a fantastic fight, an absolute must-win for both of these talented heavyweights to move on and potentially look to challenge for the world heavyweight title.
Shut up, Eddie's a liar, bro. These guys ain't challenging for shit, Jack.
Yeah, but they are both going uphill though. I agree with him.
Nah, man, the broadcast cut off, man. Eddie be lying. He knows in his heart, bro. They ain't challenging for nothing. All Eddie was do is just keep the money in house. Let me see what it says.
He didn't challenge him for nothing.
Eddie be lying. This guy can't say two lines, man. Nah. These guys ain't got no personality, bro. You got two guys who ain't got no personality. I'm turning that off because if I listen to their voices, I'm gonna fall asleep. Remember, people are paying money for this, you know. This undercard here. And you know, Joshua, I don't know if you saw the media workout yesterday. Joshua, they had us watch Joshua wrap his hands. We didn't even see him hit the pads or do no shadow boxing, nothing, bro. Liberty.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. They had us waiting there for a good like 20 minutes watching Joshua wrap his hand, and we didn't see nothing. I mean, why would you do that? That's appalling. And now you've given us this undercard of guys that, you know, their English is not their first language, and they're boring the hell out of me. I'm lucky you're here, D. Jefferson. Anyway, I have a right when you pay your money, right, to critique. I have a right to critique, you know, when you pay your money. So I'm just critiquing. You know what I'm saying? YG.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, I have a right to critique. But D, what? So what you got? Oh yeah, we got big fights on Friday, right? You got Shakur Stevenson. You covering that?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna do 2 cards this weekend.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm covering the actually Fearfane money team. He fight earlier in the UK, earlier in the day, and then later on Shakur Stevenson's fighting on that card. The Felix Verdejo fight, but she actually. Felix Verdejo's going against the Chinese guy who fought Teofimo Lopez.
Masayoshi Nakatani.
Yeah, I like that dude there. I think that's a hard fight.
I got Masayoshi Nakatani beating Verdejo.
Yeah, you know what? I can see that. I think Felix Verdejo straight through with the points. He's with Ishmael Salas, who helped Joe Joyce beat Daniel Dubois. So I like Ishmael. I've been watching it. He's on my Facebook. I'm watching the clips of them doing pads. They look pretty good though. I think they got a good chance. I think if he boxes, because that Japanese guy is all coming forward. So I think if he boxes, him should be all right.
Yeah, but the thing with Nakatani is he can box, man. He can box and his hand speed is man. Look, it's a reason he gave Teofimo Lopez a problem for 12 rounds, and people gonna find that out versus Felix Verdejo. They're going to find it out, fam. A lot of these Japanese fighters get a bad rap, fam. They don't get the respect they deserve. You ask people about Kosei Tanaka, half of people don't even know who he is, but the kid's lightning, you know. Naoya Inoue don't get the respect that he deserves. You know, Takashi Inoue that fought what's his name, Jaime Munguia, took him to a war. Jaime Munguia was splattering dudes, just going through him. Takashi Inoue took him to a war, you know. But don't give Murata the respect. These Japanese fighters don't get the respect they deserve, man.
Yeah, well, because usually they just stay over their side of the water, or they ain't do nothing, be nothing, do nothing. So that's how it was. You know,
Well, that's been basically the worldwide sentiment, right? It's like the American fans, especially the American fans, but the American fans, UK fans, and Mexican fans together hold their prestige high. So it's almost as if, you know, we're better than everyone else. And the world is catching up, man. That's just the reality of it.
Japan ain't catching up nowhere. They ain't going nowhere.
Mark my words.
Anyway, it's a hype job. Yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He gonna get.
Nah, EJ.
He's a hype job. He gonna lose. Like if he's struggling with an old Donaire, then when he goes against Jorio Casamero, or he goes against Juan Francisco Estrada or Chocolito, let me see what's up. Up until then, I don't rate up until then. Go ahead, I ain't seen nothing.
Who hasn't struggled with Donaire? See, it's like when people say that.
No, man, Nicholas.
Hold on, EJ. It's like when people say this about Pacquiao. These guys are not old until they turn old on us in the ring. And that's the facts. Like you look at boxing the history of boxing will show you that these guys that fight older into their older years, they'll have that fight where they got that one fight where they turn old in the ring. And you can see, yep, they passed it. We ain't seen that with Manny nor Donaire yet. So we can't really put that out there that they just old.
I can, man. I know it is a hype job, and that's that. That's what it is.
No, I mean, you can believe that. I'm not saying you can have your own opinion. I'm just saying that I don't agree with it because we haven't seen it. Plus, Nito Donaire. If people don't remember, he didn't lose until he moved up. He never lost at that weight. No one ever beat him at that weight.
Well, you know, let me clarify what I mean by hype job, right? They're hype jobs until to me, they fight guys who are similar, same age, and the same sort of in their prime, and then up until now he hasn't done that. So you know what I mean? I question the level of competition he's been facing, and the Nito Donaire was supposed to be cannon fodder, and he wasn't. So my thing is this: like when he fights John Casamero, if he blows him out, I become a fan. You know what I mean? So in a way, when I'm dissing people saying, "I fan they this ever," they have to kind of convince me. Like I wasn't convinced with Errol Spence, until he blew out Lennon Bundu, who was very durable, and he beat him because I thought he's a hype job American, right? But then I talked to Lennon Bundu before because he had a couple of fights in Europe and stuff like that. So I said to myself, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, Bundu's the real deal. He's tough European level. Spence went in there and just took his head off, clean off." I said, "Yo, I'm a fan." And that's how it is. So I don't really take it as I'm really hating to the point where when they achieve something, I'm not gonna give them props. It's just kind of like you have to prove to me something. You know what I mean? Now you here on the big time, I want to see something because I rate Donaire. You know what I mean? I respect Donaire and everything like that. So my whole thing is this: that let them prove to me that you're that guy by beating a guy in their prime, and then we're cool. So I don't take it to the next level where I'm gonna make videos like what's that guy? Chiquita Barbie, white chocolate guy. He's another one. I diss him. I say that guy's rubbish, bro. But only by his last performance, I'm doing that. But overall, he might be better than that. Go ahead.
So, do you know Omar Narvaez?
Know what?
Do you know?
Yeah. He's a hype job. Yeah. He went to distance with Donaire. He's rubbish.
You said Omar Narvaez was a hype job.
Yeah, he's a hype job.
Lord, EJ. 27.
Hold up. Let me clarify. The only guy I know he fought was Donaire. Who else has he fought? Because you have 25 defenses, Argentina, that don't mean shit to me. I don't know who you fought, bro. There's names, man. Like you listen. Listen, bro.
Okay.
Like, it's very simple for me, yeah? You can have 50 defenses of your belt, but if you haven't fought credible name, it don't mean shit to me, right? That's what I'm on. I want to see the names of the guys you think when you fought them, and I'll give you props. And because he went the distance with Nito there, that's why everyone gives him props. That's it. One name? Nah.
No, that's not actual, fam.
But tell me who else he fought.
That's not. This is not why I give him props. And
go ahead.
Okay, so I just gave you another one, but this is some of the things that I run into with Canelo. So I just said Omar, and you said Omar's a hype job too. No, Nito Donaire was old. So if I give you more names, and like you said, you don't know much about these guys or who they fought.
No, I do. No, I actually do. No, I do. I know exactly who they fought. That's what I'm telling you. I know exactly who the names he's fought. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And when I go through it, the only name I know is credible was Nito Day. Went the distance. So, like, you understand, yeah? These guys are built off names. That's how you get built. That's how boxers built off names. You must understand. So when the more names and credible names you get, is the more respect you get. That's what I'm on, and I ain't changing that format for nothing because boxing's always built on that. Now, Nito Donaire, yeah, when he fought him, was prime Donaire, and he went the distance, which has seemed credible because Donaire was blowing everyone out. So he got a lot of respect for that, right? And then he lost to Donaire, right? He lost him. He didn't win. He lost him, right? So now he come back and he gets the belt back. He's over in Argentina on that bullshit, and Thingy goes over there and blows him out. So it's like, yo. And I remember that day, right? It was time ago. It was like New Year's. He blew him out, right? And everyone's like, oh, this kid's for real because he blew out Thingy, who went, this is Donaire. Nito there. This is years ago before he even fought Donaire. So now this is years ago. Now he's got Donaire in his sights. The World Boxing Super Series. Donaire wasn't even supposed to go that far. And he gets in there and bro, he goes the distance. So I'm like, hold up.
Well,
yeah, so you know, it's what look, bro. It's to me, it's simple, bro. Like, look, man, in this age of information, right? D. Jefferson, it's very simple because you got belts and all that stuff there. You can have all this stuff. It's to me, it's just names, bro. And you know, the criteria. It's like Errol Spence. Same thing they do to Crawford. Who he beat. That's what they're on with Crawford. They're like, who's he beat? Same thing. They don't care. They don't care about his accomplishments, lightweight, light welterweight, undisputed. They don't care about welterweight. They go to Crawford. Who have you beat? And then you look at Spence's and you got names, bro. Names, bro. You know what I mean? You could just rack them off. Bing, 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 bing. But then they say he's trying to say Crawford still can beat him. So I keep it same. And like, even though I respect Crawford and he's pound for pound, but they're like, but you ain't fought no names like you like my man Spencer's done. So that's how it is, bro. Go ahead.
Well, see, with me, I look at the fighters. I look at the fighters that they fight and what they've done, and then I watch how they perform. I don't go by if I know all of these fighters and everybody they fought because I don't. To tell you the truth, bro, I don't know resumes of every fighter and whoever they fought. I ain't no goddamn computer. But I look at guys in the ring and I look at what they bring to the table inside of the ring. And I don't see Hanoi as no hype job because here's the thing. I feel like there are other fighters around the world. When we say domestic level competition, right? If it's domestic level in the US, if it's domestic level in the UK, or if it's domestic level in, well, I wouldn't even say Mexico, but let's just say the US and the UK, they give the fans of the UK and the fans of the US, they'll give more credit to their domestic level fighters because they're in that system or they're in that country. But then you look at a lot of these other domestic level fighters and guys like Hanoi beating up all of those fighters on the domestic level, they don't get any credit for it because these people don't know these fighters. Well, I don't know that fight. I don't. So because what is the thing with a prospect? The thing with a prospect is we don't know. We don't know if they're good. We don't know if they're not that good. Everybody believed Teofimo Lopez was just going to go through there and wash Masayoshi Nakatani, and that's only because they knew nothing about Masayoshi Nakatani. They didn't know that the #1 reigning fucking fighter for years over there, Hurricane Fuda, he went in there and he demolished Hurricane Fuda. But you know why they didn't know about Hurricane Fuda? Because they didn't give a shit about Hurricane Fuda. So because Masayoshi Nakatani demolished Hurricane Fuda, when he came over to the U.S. to fight Teofimo Lopez, he got no credit for that. But if people would have paid attention to him on the world scale, he was actually ranked higher than Teofimo Lopez on the world scale. But people don't give credit to these domestic level fighters. So when it comes to somebody like Naoya Inoue, You know what I mean? And you look at like his last 5 or 6 fights, bro, he's fighting guys with all winning records, fam. Nito Donaire had the most losses, but that was Nito Donaire. The rest of these guys had all winning records, either 1 loss or no loss. And these are the guys that he's running through, absolutely running through.
Let me ask a question. Who's the best in the division? Who's the best in his division, right?
At 118?
Yeah, who's the best in his division?
Donaire is the best.
All right. But listen to this, right? When he gets past, and I'll tell you again, when he gets past Casemiro, what that fight was supposed to have, when he gets past Casemiro, if he fights Chocolate is going to go up. If One Fist goes Estrada, if they go up, because you got to remember, he skipped the whole division. He skipped the flyweight division and went up to bantamweight to avoid all them guys. That's what you need to understand. When he beat Omina Virus, right, was that light fly, he skipped the flyweight where all the savages were in. So I don't get no props. And all the guys down there, they all bashing up each other. Down there, Quadros, all them dudes going at each other. So let's go back into it again. Names. If he ain't fighting no big name in his name, there's Quadros, there's Chocolito, there's One Frisco Estrada, there's what's it, Cisa Kit, Runner Cisa Kit. There's all the names down there. There's Joe Mario Casarero. There's like 5 names. He ain't fought. He fighting old dudes. He ain't in a fight where he ain't supposed to lose. So when we go and fight where it's gonna where we don't know who gonna win, then that's what's up. That's what boxing's about. So what I'm saying, hype job until then. And me giving someone calling someone a hype job, I'm gonna I call Shakir Stevenson Crybaby Xavier Stevenson because he cried at the Olympics like a big baby, and I see him like a big baby. The fight he's fighting actually on the weekend is actually a hard fight, and I'm actually I'm picking the other guy, gonna beat him on points. The Japanese guy. Now let's go out on a ling, D Jefferson. Are you picking a Japanese guy to upset to upset Felix Verdejo? Yes or no?
Yeah, I told you that in the beginning. Nakatani's gonna beat Verdejo.
Okay, all right. Well,
it's not. Look, I'm not even guessing this. I look at it in the ring, fam. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you might hear me talk about this prediction league. We got a huge prediction league on Facebook, Fantasy Boxing Prediction.
Who's with that?
Bro,
okay.
we got fucking fighters, active fighters in there, a trainer in there. Dude, like 93 people.
Yeah, what's the group called? What's the group called?
It's Fantasy Boxing Prediction League.
I need to go find that, right?
And for the past 6 seasons of this thing, fam, I stay in the top 5. And look, no. See, I can't wait till you come join it because you'll see the difficulty. Because we're picking anywhere from 12 to 15 fights, many different fighters that we don't know. And the thing is, you got to go look at the film. And if you know what you're looking at in the ring, then you can show consistency in picking the correct winners, right? Which means you'll stay around the top. These are knowledgeable boxing minds in this league. Like I said, we got a trainer, we got fighters, active fighters in there, and I stay around the top because I know what these guys. Man, 2 of my uncles used to box pro. I've been watching this for 40 fucking years, fam. And so when I see guys and I see what they do, and I don't underestimate domestic level fighters from I go and I watch how they box, how they move, how they transition their weight, their inside fighting, how they utilize the paw and the distance jab, the range finding jab. I look at the skills, what they do in the ring, what they're bringing to the table. And Masahiro Nakatani can fucking box, man. The dude's got power. He can box. He's 6 foot tall with a longer reach. How is Felix Verdejo gonna crack the puzzle that Teofimo couldn't crack?
Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. But listen to this, right? First and foremost, I don't know how it is on your channel, but over here they be sensitive with the F-bomb, so I'd appreciate. That's cool. Right now, the next thing as well. Now let's talk about. You was talking about when you're from your country, people back there, guy. Listen, if you don't know about EJ, I'm gonna tell you right now. EJ is the less EJ, not Errol Spence. Me, yeah. EJ is the less patriotic guy you ever met in your life. I'm about winning. I tell you, that's one thing I picked from America. I'm about the winning. Whoever I think gonna win, that's where I'm at. And most of the time, I always pick against it. Most of the time, majority of the time, I've been picking against the UK fighters because I feel like some of the UK fighters are overhyped. I blame my own guys over here. In America, I do the same thing. See, man, hey, listen, I'm a boxing coach. I'm a pro coach. Yeah, I've been boxing, steep in boxing, like yourself. Yeah, I know my boxing. Yeah, but even me, with Teofimo Lopez fought Lomachenko, I thought, yeah, I like most people. I said Lomachenko win. Why he was telling me for the longest, he had Teofimo Lopez, and it seemed that way, and that's when it got into the fight. So I can, even though I can be like a scholar and say, yo, 100% this guy's gonna win, and like you're picking Nakatari, and you're 100% of what he did against Teofimo Lopez, that's good level. But see, Felix Verdejo, he been a prospect from when he came at the Olympics. This guy was supposed to be that dude until he had I think it was a car crash or a motorbike incident. It was derailed him, and he ain't been that dude since. But he's been rebuilt. He's with Israel Salas. I'm 100% confident that he gonna come back and pull it on this Japanese guy and show that his boxing skills, that he's one of them guys in the lightweight division. But that's how boxing is. We go, in fact, bruh, whoever wins, I'll come on your live or you come on my live, or we go cover that joint. You know what I mean? And that's what's up.
Wow. Well, guess what? I told you my top 5 guys. So guess who picked Teofimo over over Lomachenko? Number 2, with the whole Olympic things, I get it. But with the Olympics, the Nationals, the Golden Gloves, man, people come out of that and don't produce in boxing. Let's take Luke Campbell for an example. He had good success in the amateurs, went to the Olympics. So, I mean, that means things. I'm just saying, EJ, that means something. But it don't mean everything. And then when you talk about you might be one of those guys, well, join the club. Because if you ain't privy to my channel, I put boxing first, boxing second. I don't give a fuck where they come from. Look at my top 5 guys that I just gave you. 2 Americans, fucking 2 Hispanics, and a British guy. I don't care about that. I'm just saying a lot of fans do. I wasn't accusing you of that. I'm just saying I know a lot of fans do that, but I guess we're on the same page with that, because if you speak in my sports talk, soon as somebody say something racist, I boot them off the fucking channel, fam. Like I kick them off the channel. I don't even, because that don't have nothing to do with boxing, fam. So these biases and these, it's nothing wrong with you back in your country, man. I don't have no problem with that. But if you do it, then you have to do it honestly. You got to be honest about it. So if there's another guy from another country, just because it's your countryman, you can't say, oh, he's gonna beat him. Then you're not being intellectually honest with that. You got to look at the fight and assess the fight. Okay, if you're one of those type of guys that back your countryman, I'm cool with it. But if you back your countryman and you utilize bias behind it just because he's your countryman, that's not the sake of boxing. Because if boxing tells you that your man's gonna lose, he's gonna lose.
Yeah. That's 100% true, 100% fact. But you know what? That's the thing what boxing's really built on. I mean, we all comes in tribes. I guess I was on the Mike Tyson tribe back in the 80s, late 80s, whatever. So that's how we came in. But as we become more knowledgeable, because anything you focus on expands, you become a more overall boxing fan. And when you become a more overall boxing fan, then you kind of like look at different divisions and then. And like I said to you, like all over there, like I cover women's boxing, I covered like from flyweight, from a strawweight all the way up, right? All the way up to the divisions. If they nice, they nice. If they nice, they nice. EJ's there. If they cracking skulls, if I like your style fighting, I'm there. Like that's where I am. And then I start to critique and say, well, who's he really beat? Let me look at the guys you fought and all them things. Then let's find out. So I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Now on a prediction league, yeah, to me it's like throwing a coin up in the air or wishing on a well. I like my predictions, to be fair, but to be, I don't make that many predictions in boxing, but rarely, like, or sometimes when I watch the fight, I'm like, I ain't doing a prediction. I'm just gonna watch and enjoy the joint. You know what I mean? Because like, let's say I got 5 predictions right. Does that mean I'm the luckiest guy ever? Because it's like, yo, but then people are like, well, how do you know? Well, I done my research. Now, I done my research on Joe Joyce and Daniel Dubois, and I told YG that Joe Joyce is going to beat him. And the same experience you was talking about, Olympic experience, I used that, and he was able to overcome that. Let's talk about Luke Campbell. Now, when I
did the same, EJ. I picked the 10th round exactly, too, for him to stop him, just to let you know.
Oh, man, that's smack on, bro. You on point, bro. You must on point.
I picked Tank Davis to knock Leo Santa Cruz. I was saying it for a month. 6th round, he knocks him out.
Yo, you need to get money off your team. See, this is the thing, right? If you're that accurate, you need to be telling people so they can get paid out here. Because you need to tell me some stuff so I can get paid out here. Right?
I don't gamble, but I do advise gamblers over on Pub Sports and Odds HQ. I advise them every weekend on fights, and they win money every weekend.
Yeah, I do. I gamble, but I gambled the other day. Like, it's just annoying because sometimes I lose. But listen to this, right? So, Luke Campbell. Let's talk about his Olympic pedigree. He was fighting in London. I don't know who he fought. I don't know he's a gold medalist. And like after the 2012, London ain't won no gold medals yet. So what's going on? So what I'm trying to say to you, London won gold medals gold medals and Joshua all in London 2012. Then after 2012, London hasn't won. People in the UK, they haven't won no medals yet. So what was the medals tainted? Did they actually win the fights? Because no, Joshua had a close fight. So let's move on to Luke Campbell as a pro. Eddie fast tracked him and put him in fights in European level when he wasn't even ready for that. Like he was fast tracked so quick, yeah. That in my opinion, I was around that shit. I thought, yo, he fighting this Eva Mendy, and he didn't work out because the styles wasn't good for him, and then he didn't care because he was focused on Joshua. He was the undercard of Joshua. So, if in my opinion, Luke Campbell's been thrown off the bus, and it looks like Eddie don't really care about if he's Olympian or not. He didn't give a shit. He just threw him in there. Some guys you build, like Felix Day, who's Olympian as well. Bob Arum's actually taking his time with him, but this Japanese fight, if he can't beat this Japanese dude, yo, Bob's gonna drop him like a bag of ish, and that's why I don't use no profanities, right? He gonna drop him, bro. He gonna drop him, and we gonna see. But Fideo's fighting for his contract for me because Bob Arum put a lot of money in, and remember Puerto Rico ain't got that many big stars, so but he's a big star in Puerto Rico. He's Olympian, so there's a lot of people backing him, and hopefully he does well because he's got a big fan base. Let's hear from Lawrence Okolie.
Yeah. Well, see what Luke Campbell. This is the thing. This is the thing with boxing, and I do agree that guys got to be moved the right way. Now, you look at Frank Warren and his two main guys, he blew it, and he blew it because Yard wasn't moved the right way, and neither was Daniel Dubois. They were both moved. They were both moved horribly, right? And so what we're seeing with these guys now, it all pans out. With Luke Campbell, I don't much agree with your sentiment because, okay, you got a guy who starts boxing, right? Say like Joe Joyce, who started a little late and didn't get as much amateur pedigree and blase this and that. So they hit boxing and you move them a certain way. But when you got these guys that have proven it at the amateur level and they have the pedigree, I don't think that they should come in and move super slow like certain guys, because if they got the goods, they got the goods. If they don't, they don't. But you need to find out. With Yvonne Mendy, with me and Luke Campbell, the way I look at that is that, okay, yeah, he lost to Yvonne Mendy, but he came back and he beat Yvonne Mendy. And that's what you see, too much.
Did he beat him? Did he beat him?
He came back and he avenged that loss.
He didn't win that fight. He just got the decision, bro. He didn't win that fight. He ran
Wait
for
a
his
minute, no, EJ.
I watched that fight and scored it. Mendy won the fight. It's just that he fought the fight at home. I was there in the whole build-up. He didn't win that fight.
I watched the fight too, fam.
I scored it for Mendy. So I know he didn't. I know it was a political decision, in my opinion. He didn't win that fight. But go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I actually thought he won the fight. Okay, but he fought Jorge Linares. You know what I mean? Now, what are we going to just shit on Jorge Linares too? Like he fought and he beat Jorge Linares. No, actually, he lost to Linares. He did lose to Linares. But my thing is this, though. With the Mendy situation, he lost to him. He came back and avenged it. Whether we say he got robbed, Mendy got robbed or whatever. I say I don't think so. It was a good fight. I think he came back and avenged his loss. But my point with Luke Campbell is you get these guys like Tank Davis, 156 amateur fights and like 19 losses. That's it. National championships, 2 times Golden Gloves, this, that, and the third. But then they come in and it's a fucking game with him. They playing games with him. They're not moving him. Like Floyd won't throw him to the fire like Luke Campbell was thrown to the fire. So now we got Tank Davis at 26 years old and we still don't know what he is. We still don't know what he is. So it's a fine line between when we say throwing them to the wolves and not moving them the right way, then when we say testing them. And I think that a guy like Dubois and Yard was to the wolves, but I think that Luke Campbell, because of what he did, was tested. He was tested the right way. I think he was tested the right way.
I don't think so.
Let me ask you a
what's
question.
Hey, introducing Phil Walker. What's up, my man Phil from Houston, Texas? What's going on, Phil? How you doing? Shout out to
you know me, man. You know how it is in Big Texas, man. Every day is a wonderful day when you're a Texan. You dig what I'm saying?
Go ahead, Phil.
Hey, look, this is my question right here. So I heard you bring up Tank. Now, I agree with you in the aspect that that Tank hadn't been thrown to the wolves. But let me ask you a question. Do you think Floyd Mayweather would be responsible or irresponsible to throw Tank Davis to the wolves at this part of his career, considering how Tank is very, I say he's inconsistent in how he handles his career. So, what do you think?
I think that if Floyd just threw Tank to the wolves right now, yeah, it would be irresponsible. It definitely would, because Floyd Mayweather and Leonard Ellerbe continued to put this guy into fights that they knew he was going to win because their plans was to make this star or whatever. So they succeeded in that, but they basically have given us a fighter that's a multi-division champion that's still a fucking prospect, if you ask me, because
Yo, no, one second, DJ Jefferson. Yeah, you dropped like
I'm sorry.
five F4s already. Like, and
No, I apologize.
Yeah. Like,
I gotta watch that.
By the way, you guys continue. But if AJ comes on, I'm just gonna let you know because I'll put the audio up on that. But continue what you said. No F bombs.
No F bombs. I got you. My bad, EJ. But you look at Tank Davis, and we get this far, and he's basically two, 3-time champion. That's a prospect because we don't know what Tank has to give. I can't assess Tank by beating up little Leo Santa Cruz and old Chinny Gamboa's going out the door. So if he was to throw him to the wolves right now, like I say, he don't need to put him in there with Teofimo Lopez. People talking about Tank and Teofimo, that would be a mistake because Tank ain't shown. Listen, his only test at 135 is an old Chinny Gamboa. Who else has he fought at 135? Because you're fighting at 130, beating up guys coming up from 126. That don't give me no validity at 135. And the way Leo Santa Cruz was piecing Tank up, I just imagine at 130, if it's a guy like Miguel Burchelt hitting Tank in the face like that, would he survive that storm? We don't know. So if he was to throw him in there with a Teofimo Lopez, yeah, I do believe that he would be throwing them to the wolves, but that's why you got to bring these guys up right and not through this facade that they brought Tank up. They brought him up to
hold on. Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. All right. So this is what you're saying right here. All right. You're saying right now that Tank Davis is essentially a extremely overpaid prospect, right? Is that a good assessment? A really hyped, overpaid prospect in your eyes based on what he's accomplished. Is that what you're saying in a nutshell?
Yeah, kind of, but it's a little out of context, kind of, because, all right, I may be harsh calling him a prospect, right? But I'm just was trying to make a point with that. But I will say he's an overpaid fighter who's not proven. I will say that.
All right. Okay, so let's roll with that, right? So okay, so you're saying that somebody like Tank hadn't gotten thrown to the wolves, and you said, well, we don't know this about him, we don't know that about him. But let me tell you who does know about him: the people that's with him every day, right?
Right.
So this is my whole perception about this. I agree that Tank at this point in his career, I would like to see him step up in a level of competition where he could possibly lose a fight, right? That's what I want to see. Without a doubt, I think everybody wants to see what Tank is really made of. But at the same time, okay, I think as far as the way they're managing his career, first and foremost, let's take Terence Crawford, for example, right? Terence Crawford doesn't have nearly the hype that Tank Davis has as far as in the public eye, right? I would think that Tank Davis brings more to the table as far as fandom because his numbers show he does than
For
Terence
sure.
Crawford does.
For sure.
All right. So you got a manager that's building a fighter up, okay? Building a fighter up, right? In the meantime, while he's building them up, he's making them filthy rich, okay? That's building them up, number one. Making them filthy rich in the process, number two. Minimizing the risk at that point, minimizing the risk while he's doing 1 and 2 is number three. Number four, they are carefully selecting his opponents because they know that Tank right now in his career still has some growing to do and he's immature. Okay. So with those four characteristics, that's somebody that's looking down on Tank and managing his career. I think they're doing exactly what they're supposed to do. You don't throw your fighter to the wolves if you know your fighter's not ready, especially after you've accomplished number one and you've accomplished number two. Because at the end of the day, number two, the money getting these fighters paid because they're in a dangerous sport, and a lot of times these guys don't have it all when they're in their 60s and 70s. So you want these guys to be financially secure. If you're doing number 1 and number 2, you don't skip to number 4 and just say, okay, I built this fighter, I've got his money in his pocket, let me just throw him to the wolves, although I know he's not ready. No, you put him in the lion's den when he's ready to fight the lions. Okay? So for me, I'm gonna be honest with you. Hold up, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think because at the end of the day, I think Tank is fighting at 135, but let's be real. Tank probably could be fighting at 26 and 30 if he was disciplined enough. Would you agree to that? Because he's a very, very short, small man. Would you agree to that?
Tank should be fighting at 126 and 130 and wiping the floor with everyone. That's what he should.
Okay, so for me, that shows that, for one, the maturity level of Tank is still not there, because that's where he's supposed to be fighting. He's fighting at 35 only because he's not disciplined enough to make the weight. Now, he did make the weight at 130, and I will say this right here. That was a big accomplishment for Tank. I am proud of him for that, considering his past transgressions. But at the end of the day, for me personally, they are handling his career properly at this point in time, at this tenure, because guess what? If you're supposed to be fighting at 126 and 130, why wouldn't you get credit for beating Leo Santa Cruz, who was a 126 and a 130 fighter?
Because no. See, okay. Let me know when you finish. Let me know when you finish, because I'm gonna break all of that down real quick.
Okay, all right, okay. So
you wanna know when I can
talk. All right, so again, you just said out of your mouth that Tank should be fighting at 126 and 130 and wiping everybody out, right? Last I checked, Leo came up from 126. Leo had a belt at 130. Tank went on ahead, fought him at 130. And what did he do? He wiped him out. So for me, guess what? Leo Santa Cruz is a proven fighter. Leo Santa Cruz is a good fighter at 126, and I think he's competitive at 130, without a doubt. Tank destroyed him, just like he was supposed to destroy him. So I don't see how he can't get credit for that win, and I don't see an issue with the way Floyd and them is managing Tank's career, considering that he's still a young, irresponsible fighter, and they would be silly to build him up like they have and just throw him in with lions, and he could possibly lose, not based off his skill level, off his maturity level. And that's just why I'm at with it.
All right, now are you finished, dude? Because you took a long time to land that plane. I just want to know, because I don't want to cut you off.
So look, go ahead, hey, I just said, and that's why I'm at it. That's why
I got you. Now let me start, because you said a whole lot, but you're gonna be privy to something right here. You ain't gonna goddamn confuse D Jeff. So let me start right. Let me start right here from the beginning with them bringing him up and then throwing him to the Lions Den. So this is Floyd Mayweather, and we're talking about bringing up. This is Floyd Mayweather bringing up Tank Davis, and we're talking about immaturity, lack of discipline, blah 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 blah. When we look at Floyd Mayweather and the example that he gave the sport of boxing, pretty boy Floyd, around the age of Tank Davis. Let's look at bringing somebody up the right way. It's not as if Floyd Mayweather doesn't know how to bring a guy up the right way, where you will hone those skills. See, Tank Davis came to this game with the potential that was lights out. I used to be a huge fan of Tank Davis. And when Floyd and Ellaby started moving him, I wasn't really willing to keep following this show that they was putting on, this WWE special they was putting on with Tank Davis. So I stopped advocating for Tank, because Floyd Mayweather knows better. Pretty boy Floyd tested himself through the fire. It is a way that you test yourself through the fire and you still come up, and you will still attract that money. But you have to come up fighting the right fights. When we sit here and we talk about Tank Davis at 130, well, when you transition weight classes, and you testing yourself at the next weight class, you don't fight the guys at the smaller weight class that you left. You fight the main guys at the weight class that you are in. So I don't want to hear anything about Tank Davis at 130 fighting Nunez's and fighting Leo Santa Cruz is coming up from 126. Tank Davis at 130 should have been fighting the Lomachenkos that he called out for 3 years. He should have been fighting the Miguel Berchelts that's at the top of this division, not a guy at the top of a division that's in a smaller division coming up. And then you say that Leo Santa Cruz was validated at 130. Well, my question to you is, how is Leo Santa Cruz any more validated at 130 is Tank at 135 when either of these guys, they both had one fight in those divisions with mediocre competition? See, Yuriok hold on for a second. My turn. I'll let you rock. Now it's my turn.
I didn't say he was validated, though. I didn't say that. But go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say this. Leo Santa Cruz was definitely not validated. That was part of the show that Floyd put on, because it was Floyd that was responsible, if you don't know this, for Leo Santa Cruz going up to snatch that easy vacant title off of a Miguel Flores, who just got totally demolished in this last fight this past weekend, because Miguel Flores was never a test. He was put in a ring with Leo Santa Cruz. He was meant to be beat so that Tank could beat another smaller guy coming up from 126, and we could put this facade on. Leo Santa Cruz should have never been in the ring with Tank. And a month before that fight on my channel, I was telling people, I don't know why y'all falling for this show that Floyd Mayweather is putting on for you guys. I don't know why y'all believe in Floyd that this is anywhere near a competitive fight, because Leo Santa Cruz will be knocked out by Tank Davis 6 rounds. Now, Phil, I got receipts on my channel, fam. I did live after live. I ain't no psychic. How did I figure out Leo Santa Cruz was going to be knocked out in 6 rounds? I'm going to tell you how I figured it out. Because just like you said, if you say that Floyd knows, you know he knows. He knew doggone well Leo Santa Cruz had no chance against Tank Davis, Omar Narvaez, Drain Pedraza. All of these fights they putting him in, they know he has no chance to lose this fight. That's not how you build a fighter. If you want to talk about building them for money, yeah, but all you're doing is building a money fighter that will never be able to stand the test of tails. The dude is 26 years old. There's no more process building at this age. You're talking 4 years. These guys fight twice a year. So in 8 more fights, he's going to be an all-time great. See, Floyd didn't build himself like that. And the money will follow you when greatness is there. When greatness is there, when you're beating the right guys, the name guys, you become that guy instantaneously. You don't have to put on this facade, and then you're 26 years old, and then we're still saying he's not ready to fight a doggone 23-year-old Teofimo Lopez with 16 fights.
Yo, D, time up. Hey, listen, the big man's in the stage. We're about to rock and roll. Hold where you are, guys, yeah. YouTube, D and Phil. And we're going to resume that after we get the press conference wrapping. That's what we're here for. And the big guys just landed sitting there, and we are ready.
The unified world heavyweight championship between Anthony Joshua and his mandatory challenger Kubrat Pulev, live and exclusive on Sky Sports, box office in the UK, and DAZN around the world. I want to just thank a few people before we move forward. Of course, we know how difficult it's been to stage major events this year. We are delighted.
Well, we ain't trying to hear none of your rubbish, Eddie. We want to get to the damn thing. Well, listen, I didn't know that Pulev had a black trainer. I didn't know that. He got a black trainer, so I'm sure I know about him. If I find out about him, I'll find out. So I'll let Eddie talk his rubbish, and then we're going to get straight into the press conference. But this is going to be a good fight. You know, AJ always brings the heat. You know what I'm saying? And London, you know what I'm saying? England, the UK, they stand up back Anthony Joshua. So they're going to pay. I know Nigeria is going to pay. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to find out. Let's get it in.
Backwards and forwards, some things that you don't see. Also, I want to thank Bob Arum. We'll hear from him shortly, and his team at Top Rank.
Oh, yeah?
For all their hard work. And
hating Bob.
Thank the 2 teams at Matchroom and 258. You know, this has been a really, really difficult exercise for us over the last few weeks in here.
Come on, man.
Matchroom residency at Wembley, and also.
Come on, man. Let's get to the thing, man. I'm not really on the yap. I want to hear, man. I want to, man. Yeah, hey, listen. You guys can commentate on it. You don't have to be quiet. You can commentate over the jive, man, as it's going on, because I want to get to the thing, man. When they talk rubbish, I'm gonna put it on it. I want to know who's this black trainer that this racist. Well, I can't call him racist. Let's just say prejudiced Pulev has got in his corner, then he ain't never had no black trainer, so he definitely going in now, boys. Like, we need one of you to beat one of them. You know what I mean? I'm just getting in there.
Travel right now in this environment, but
I want to hear about no COVID, man. Though you're depressing up the press conference, killing it.
Kubrat Pulev is a really rugged fighter.
Bob Arum, innit?
Yeah.
A number of his fights in the United States, and because of his mandatory position in the IBF, he was able to secure this fight with Anthony Joshua.
He's gonna hate, you know.
Now Pulev
Uh-huh.
did very, very serious training in Bulgaria.
Okay.
He is in the best condition of his career.
Yeah.
And frankly,
Better be.
I look for him not only to beat Anthony.
Here we
Joshua,
go. Here we
to
go.
knock him out.
Shut up.
Pulev is a big, rugged Bulgarian.
Yeah.
You're full of it, man.
Yeah.
I really feel that Joshua is vulnerable and that Pulev will not only beat him but knock him out.
AJ, go here. AJ, go ahead.
Knock him out.
That victory with the joy that it brings to me, because
Talking hating.
I become attached to Pulev. He's a terrific guy. It's a pleasure working with him. On the other hand, it will disappoint one of my other guys, the WBC champion, Tyson Fury.
Oh,
because
okay.
Fury is looking forward to fighting Joshua. I talked to Tyson the other day.
That's right.
Yesterday, as a matter of fact. And we were already making plans for
in the summertime.
Tyson Fury to fight other fighters, because Fury agrees with me that there's a great chance that Pulev is going to upset the apple cart.
Shut up.
And beat Joshua.
Shut
But
it.
That's why they do the fight.
You're full of it, man.
What happens in the ring, I think, without a question,
Ain't gonna happen, Bob.
whichever way the fight goes,
No way.
it's going to be a very entertaining fight, and certainly well worth the
No way.
money that fight fans in the UK will be paying to watch it on pay-per-view.
Yeah, we'll be paying.
I enjoyed speaking to you the other night. Really
It's a co-promotion. That's why Bob's talking.
Yeah.
Co-promotion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you, and look forward to a great event on Saturday.
Well, thank you, Eddie, and thanks for having us.
The top rank,
First
innit?
and foremost, thanks to AJ and Kubrat for doing this, because without them, we wouldn't be here. So kudos to both of you guys for stepping up and making this happen. I also want to thank, obviously, Eddie and your father, Barry, and the rest of the team at Matchroom. They've been first class all around.
Damn right.
And this has been really wonderful circumstances under very trying conditions. I also want to thank the network, Sky Sports.
No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We ain't trying to hear no thanks. Listen, Bob Aram's a hating, salty dude. He's a salty ass old dude, you know. You got him loud on speaker hating on AJ. AJ got to sit there and hear this guy all hating. That's dread, you know. But you know, if you're the co-promoter, because obviously he can't be in England, so they brought his representation. So so the Sowlands of the managers and Bob is the promoter, and he's out here hating. Listen, Fury, listen, AJ gonna smash this youth. Listen, I want to hear who this black trainer is in the over here on the right hand side. I don't know who he is, because Pulev never had no black trainer ever. Like Chris Jericho used to say. Again. I don't know who this guy is. I want to hear his jive. They brought him here to talk jive to Joshua. I'm telling you, he gonna start talking some jive. And I'm just waiting for this guy for top ramp to get through doing his little spill. But listen, and it's the thing about the press conference. They know that if you can get in Joshua's head at the press conference, they can get to that. I think that's a key for most guys in any promotion with Joshua, because Joshua's so proper. You know what I mean? He's not about talking ish or none of that stuff. So I think the game plan for these guys is to bring this American guy over here. I know he's American because I can see by his, I know he's American. He gonna talk some style on Joshua. I bet you. I bet $1. I bet a pound note, should I say? Right?
Yeah. What about Arum he gonna knock Joshua out? Like what? Because what was it? The Samuel Peters fight that told him that, or the Bogdan Dino fight? Because he couldn't stop. He didn't stop Kevin Johnson. This dude didn't stop Hughie Fury. He didn't stop Idell Booker. What makes him think he's gonna stop Joshua?
Because Joshua, you know why? Because Joshua, after the reads, like they think Joshua will make a mistake and Pulev can capitalize. But I guess you're a promoter. You gotta talk that ish. Let me hear what this guy's saying. Is he still talking? He's reading these notes. Let me hear what he's saying.
His father wanted wanted sons that would become boxers and who would eventually become world champions.
It's what Pulev family.
And that's what Kubrat is here to do.
He ain't winning
Kubrat's in incredible shape. He's thin, he's lean, he's a lean, mean fighting machine.
Yeah, he's getting knocked out. Pulev getting knocked out.
On Saturday
He getting knocked out. I see he getting knocked out.
Yep, 5th round. I'm picking 5th round. AJ stop him in the 5th.
Yeah, well, that's some prick.
I also believe that Kubrat will knock him out.
He ain't knocking.
So thank everybody and thank you
hard, man.
Thank you, John. We're going to hear from the trainers now. Firstly, Evan, welcome. We know you've worked hard.
Who's this guy?
Looks in great shape. A lot of people talking about he looks light.
This black guy. Who's this guy?
He's got a smile.
I don't know.
Ready for a big night on Saturday.
Who's?
Yeah, I mean, of course he's ready. This is what he's trained for his whole life. It's a big opportunity, and even more important, it's a trying time here in the world right now, and he has a chance to take people's mind off of the easy a little bit, with hopefully coming with this victory, to entertain the public and the world, just so they can see through his journey of what he's done, in his road to becoming heavyweight champion of the world. So it's good for him to have his opportunity to help the world in a step towards normality, I guess, with this fight going on. So we're ready.
Talk about, obviously, the world right now. It's difficult to prepare. I don't think any fighter can
Oh, man. Boring, man.
But you're pleased with your charge. You believe he's in the right shape physically and mentally to take the opportunity on Saturday.
Absolutely. I mean, even more so mentally. I think that's the biggest point. Kubrat is mentally strong, and I think we're going to show a lot of upset the apple cart. Obviously, he's ready, and he's going to do what he needs to do to win.
Ain't no one ever heard of you before.
Charge, Anthony Joshua. I'm sure you've studied him. I'm sure you've worked on him with Kubrat Pulev. Dangerous fighter. He's in great shape as well. It's a big challenge. 2 great heavyweights.
Of course, he's he's respectable, and you need somebody like Joshua to be there in order to hopefully make.
See, I know what
they
he did.
Much more sweeter. I mean, if he wasn't prepared, if I thought that he wasn't the one to bring that diversity towards Kubrat, it wouldn't be as good. So I think he's very well prepared and he's ready. He's in his home country. He has a lot to prove, and I think he's going to come out there guns blazing and try to prove it.
Thank you, Evan. Rob?
Evan.
Obviously, the setup at EIS has been difficult.
Yeah, Rob McCracken.
You guys have been working hard. AJ looks in great shape. Has a good camp and ready for a great fight.
Let's go, Rob.
Yeah, he's had a real good camp. He really enjoys boxing. We've been doing more boxing sessions, 2 a day in some cases, for most of the week. So he's enjoyed that. His sparring great, really good. His athleticism is brilliant. His physical strength is phenomenal, I think, and that's what people don't realise till they get in the ring with him is how he can move and how strong he is.
Team AJ, boy.
He's worked long and hard on the discipline. Doesn't underestimate anybody. Takes everybody dead seriously, but he's not unified champ twice for no reason. He's a fantastic fighter, and he'll only get better. And this is a good fight for him Saturday night, and it's one that we look forward to.
AJ looks good, boy.
He's always
Fit.
been there. 3 years ago, you were just 10 days away from facing him at the Millennium Stadium. I know you guys rate Pulev very highly, very well schooled, great amateur as well, and it's going to be a tough fight.
Yeah, it is. Anthony fights the very best fighters out there. That's why he's achieved what he's achieved.
That's right.
He's got the name he's got.
That's right.
He doesn't duck anybody. He fights everybody. And certainly, Kubrat Pulev's one of the best out there. He's not in the top 3 heavyweights. He's a really good fighter.
There ain't no top 3.
I believe Anthony's a better fighter.
Ain't no top 3.
Champion, and we believe
He is at top rank.
Yeah. Hey, you know why they put the black trainer in? You know why they put that black trainer in? Because the UK was going to go after him.
People asking what Joshua we're going to get this time. You see him as a much more rounded fighter now, and someone who has the ability to do a bit of everything.
You'll see.
I just think he's gone through a learning experience. Wasn't 100% going into the first Ruiz fight. We took the rematch.
you call me within 24 hours the next morning, and you know, in my opinion, he won the rematch comfortably.
Yeah, he did.
We always thought he would against a very good fighter in Ruiz, by the way.
Yeah.
A very strong, underestimated boxer. But you know, Anthony's Olympic champion. He's unified champion. He's going from strength to strength. He's looking forward to fighting on Saturday. He's enjoyed the camp. He's boxed really well, and the discipline that you mentioned he's been in him in the spars. He's been disciplined. He's been on point, and you know, Saturday night can't come soon.
That's right.
Thank you. We go to the fighters first. The challenger, mandatory challenger for the IBF title, Kubrat Pulev. Kubrat, welcome.
Yeah.
You seem very relaxed this week, very happy. Smiling around. You're good, you're fit, you're strong, you're ready to fight.
Yes, I'm ready to fight because we stay a long time of waiting for this fight. Of course, 2017 I have a little problem here in breast, and that's why I tell to my trainer, we must go for win, and that's why we must don't fight now. Maybe we can fight 1-2 years later. But I believe this fight come one day. That's why
the right time. Okay.
We don't fight 2007.
Yeah.
And I'm here now.
Making excuses for the last time.
Fight good and to win, and I think Saturday night I take the win.
Obviously, you were due to fight around 3 years ago.
Yep.
Anthony was undefeated at the time, but more inexperienced. Do you think this is a better time or worse time to fight AJ, and you're comfortable with where you are in your career right now?
I understand what you mean, but 2017, I was 38.
Yeah.
37, 36, I was younger, and also I have this problem, but I want from the sparrings.
Pre-fight excuse.
I just can't fight because I was not. I can't training. Yeah. But
Pre-fight excuse.
Healthy, and I'm not 22 years old. I don't have time, of course.
You gotta get dealt with, bro.
I'm ready. I'm here. I'm happy that this fight stay now, because in this pandemic all the world it's not easy. But fight stay, and I'm here, and I'm ready for fight. I'm ready for win.
Let's find out.
Finally, John said about your history of warrior mindset. How deep are you prepared to go on Saturday? We know Anthony's coming prepared. He punches hard. He's fast. You as well punch very hard as well. You're willing to do everything to become world champion on Saturday.
Yes, I think I have everything. I'm ready. Yes, of course, respect from Anthony, because Olympic champion.
That's right.
And
like
world champion.
Yes, right.
And respect, good fighter. But I'm ready, and I have everything to be champion.
Thank you, Kubrat. AJ, welcome. It's been a long year. Seems like, looking at the pictures over there, seems like years ago. Has been a year since you fought. This is a great fight for you. I know you prepped very hard with Rob McCracken and the team. Excited to box in a new environment on Saturday of all the pressure that you always get, but ready to make a statement.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pressure that I went through last year was tough, but made me stronger mentally, grew a thicker skin, and I've always been tough, always wanted to fight the best. That's never been an issue. What have I got to lose? I've got everything to gain. So I want to be successful in boxing, and the only way to be successful is taking on good challenges, and this is just another one that I'm looking forward to competing with.
We were joking yesterday, I think it was, about fighters fighting YouTube guys, and you just said to me, I always fight these top guys. You know, you look at that run from the 15th fight, Dillian White, Charles Martin, Dominic Brazil, Eric Molina, Vladimir Klitschko, Carlos Takam, Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, Andy Ruiz, Kubrat Pulev. Do you feel that sometimes you don't get the credit you deserve for the level of opposition that you've been facing? Or is that not why you don't that credit? You just know you're continuously ready to improve and fight the best.
I want to promote boxing. I don't want the credit. I don't yearn for it. I want to promote boxing. I'm very motivated. I'm hungry. That's why I put myself forward for any opportunity. I've got family to feed. I've got friends that I want to do business with. You know, the world's my oyster.
That's right.
At the end of the day, I can't expect anyone to love me if I don't love myself. So I respect myself, and that's why I put in work every single day.
I know it was difficult for you in the Ruiz rematch to keep those reins tied in. You know, when you pinged Ruiz and you hurt him. You know, you even said to me after the fight, "Oh, was that all right? Was it entertaining?" I said, "No, you've done the business, and you had a strict game."
Yeah, you see,
asking if the maturity and what you've
Joshua,
learned throughout
exciting,
that experience
exciting fights.
or we're still going to see that guy who loves to knock people out.
Yeah.
I've been fighting at top level ever since I went into the gym. I had a 3-year amateur career, and I went from walking into a gym to competing at the European Championships, Strand Jab box size, World Championships, Olympic Championships. I've been punched by the strongest people many times, and I'm still here today. So that never changed me. So because I took a little loss to Ruiz, I don't think that's enough to change someone like me. I've got a lot of character. Every fighter trains hard.
Yeah.
But it's character that separates us.
That's right.
And I feel like I've got a lot of character, and I'll be keen to stand there. I'm going to go into the fight. I'm definitely going to get hit, and he's going to get hit as well. So I'll be the last man standing.
Oh,
I like that. 1,000 people back in and 1,000 lucky people as well. You've been down, you've experienced fight camp, you've experienced the Wembley residency as well for Usyk against Chisora. But it'll be good to see people run it back in the arena.
1,000 people.
See fans back supporting boxing in the arena.
That'll be good for them. But my focus is just on Pulev. No disrespect to the fans coming in, but I've got a serious job that I need to complete, and then I'll, God willing, confident I'll enjoy the victory after.
And finally, I know you rate Kubrat Pulev, don't you? You rate him as a class fighter. You enjoy fighting quality heavyweights. He's been operating at the top level for a long, long time. You excited for this fight? You ready for this fight? You ready to put in a great performance? I heard you say you don't think this fight will go to the final belt.
I know Kubrat Pulev for many years. I was in the training camp when his brother was sparring Warren Baster. I was in Vladimir Klitschko's camp when he was preparing for Kubrat Pulev. So I understand some of the tactics that needs to go into beating Pulev.
See it there?
And,
you see it there?
I'm prepared for it to go to the final, but of course I feel like I'm a 15-round fighter. I'm not a 12-round fighter.
There you go.
I'm a 15-round fighter. So
Yeah, Joshua need to stop that lie.
carry my stamina, to carry my boxing IQ, my concentration, and my strength until the final belt.
Well, thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Kubrat. Thank you to all the teams. Thank you to the public. Thank you for everybody that's continued to support boxing during these times. We end the year with the biggest bang possible. In my opinion, the best heavyweight in the world defending his unified world heavyweight title against
Eddie funny, man. Eddie's funny.
Sports box office in the UK and DAZN around the world. Whatever you do not miss this. Gentlemen, if we could have a head-to-head up here, please.
All right, the head-to-head. Now listen, now listen, man. I know why they got the black trainer in there, because this Pulev made comments about, there's anything you like about Joshua, and he said I like his tan, and that went around the UK and people was upset. So they brought the black trainer in to say, well, I'm a racist, I have a black trainer. So okay, that don't prove nothing. He's talking jive right now to Joshua, you know. He's actually talking jive to Joshua right now. See, this man, look, man, because you have a black trainer, look, he's talking there, nodding his head. Because you have a black trainer, that don't mean ish to me, bro. Look, he's talking, listen, you gonna get slapped up, bro. And Bob Arum done bought this. I ain't gonna call the guy a coon or nothing like that. I ain't gonna do that. That's a bit too far. But but you bring a black trainer and you ain't never had a black trainer in your whole of your career. Now he's out there swinging his hands. This was looking at like, who's this guy out here, bro? Listen, bro, you gonna get sized up, bro. Now you gonna get savaged up. All right. You guys could come. All right. You guys could actually. I'm just gonna talk to Sky Sports in a second, and then after Phil can continue where you left off. Man, he needs to stop with that bull. Stop with that bull out here, bro. I don't even know who this trained that fight. He's probably a heavyweight. Bob Arum dug up from the depths of wherever. Let's see what Anthony Josh has to say.
Down there so you can hear me. He said something to you at the head-to-head there. Would you tell us what that was, if you can repeat it without swearing?
Yeah.
There wasn't swearing.
No swearing. Just a good fight, interesting fight. That was it. Simple.
That's what he said?
It's been not the smoothest of build-up because of COVID-19. In what ways has this preparation been different for you?
All of Femi.
Because professional sports have been allowed to carry on. I've been training. The only thing that we've done is taking COVID tests every week, make sure that we're all A-OK. Took COVID tests before we come into the environment. So everyone's clean, everyone's prepared. No change for me. I lived the life and we're here now to perform.
You two should have met back in 2017. Did you always think that your paths would cross again?
Anyone's path. Anyone. I've got a long list of all the heavyweights, and I'm knocking them off. From 2000 and I reckon about 2013, my uncle gave me a list of all the heavyweights, and he put like next to them what they are. So like, you know, Chisora X, Klitschko X, this one X, and I'm knocking them off. So Pulev is on that list, and he's another opponent. So it's a matter of when. He's still here. He's been around for years, and he's still here now. So he's lucky enough to experience what it's like to fight me.
One day we want to have a look at that list and see how many you crossed off at the end of it. His whole team were predicting knockouts there. Do you think that is to try and G him up, or do you think he believes he can come here and knock you out?
He believes it, of course. I'm a good boxer, though. I know how to hit and not get hit.
That's
I know
right.
how to get hit and come back 10 times.
Yeah.
It's not going to be an easy task, but good luck to him. I'm going in there to outbox and put on a good performance.
Knock him out, AJ.
2 years that have passed, do you believe that you are a better boxer than now than you were then? And if so, in what ways are you different?
Definitely, much better, definitely, because I'm dedicated, I'm proper, I'm serious about boxing. I'm looking for improvement. At the end of the day, when it's all said and done, it's only my name that gets mentioned. I've had it on the winning end, and I've had it on the losing end. So it's my name, so I'm really dedicated because I want my name to always be on the winning
Let's go.
side.
That's right, AG.
Yeah, I'll definitely improve a lot.
Just for the whole build-up, we thought there would be no fans. We thought it would be behind closed doors. Has the 1,000 fans changed your mindset or your outlook on the fight at all? I know you say the fans can't fight for me, but there will be 1,000 fans cheering for you now.
That's good.
Yeah, I hope they enjoy the whole night. It's not just me on the card. They've got a massive undercard as well.
Man.
There's many like talented fighters. So they're going to enjoy a spectacle like boxing.
That's good.
It's going to be good for them because it's intimate. So they're going to enjoy a unique experience. But for me personally, tunnel vision, all other fights that have been mentioned, I'm not really interested in. Just Kubrat Pulev right now.
You said up there it's last man standing. Just how confident are you that it's going to be you? Very. I already know the answer to the question.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thank you very much.
Last man standing. There you go. That's how we're doing it. We're doing it. Bringing it back to Lennox Lewis. Last man standing, bro. All right. They're gonna bring. I want to hear what. They're gonna bring. I want to hear what Pulev. Gentlemen.
Yeah.
You can assess what you heard, or you want to go resume your debate about the the little weights.
Yeah, I want to finish that little spiel I was giving to my man Phil here about that doggone Tank Davis. Cause see, with me and Tank, with my views on Tank, it ain't about no hate. Like there's a lot of people out there hating on Tank Davis, and going into that Leo Santa Cruz fight, I was speaking on that. Like, stop the hate with Tank Davis. Now, I was one of the first, and I was saying it on my live like a month and a half before the fight, to defend Tank Davis on his discipline in the past, right? We can't judge guys on what they're doing in the past. That's my thing. We got to judge them on what they're doing currently. And nobody paid attention to the fact that Tank was in the gym, focused, dedicated. You say nothing about the clubs. All you have to do is follow him.
Hold up, D. Jefferson. Hold up. Pulev just came in, so we go get Pulev. Hold that thought, D. Jefferson.
I got you.
Really, I love it. And I would love to fight, and I'm happy now because the fight is fucked. We are here, and I'm ready.
What did you say to him at the face-to-face?
Ask him.
Yeah, I did. He didn't really say either. He just said that you said it was going to be a good fight.
Yeah.
Those quotes from Bob Arum, I mean, Bob's not here, but they must be very reassuring to you that he's saying, Kubrat Pulev, my man, he's going to win by knockout.
I don't go for win with knockout. I just my strategy, my everything is for winner. Maybe knockout, yeah, because this is
You see?
boxing.
He tries to box you, man. That's what he's on. That's why you're gonna get punched up.
We had a lot of comments on our live stream last night regarding your open workout about how lean, how slim you look. Would you go as far as saying this is the best prepared that you could be, the best preparation of your career, perhaps?
I think so, but for sure I can't say this after the fight. But I'm really strong now with much power, and I'm ready My heart is won't fight.
Yeah, the talking is almost done. He said to you, "I'm prepared to be the last man standing." Will you say the same now? Are you prepared to be the last man standing?
Yes, of course, I will be.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, man. This guy don't really. Yeah, I'm a find the trainer. Where they find that trainer from? I don't know. What D Jefferson? The floor is yours. Go ahead.
So, yeah. So people were underestimating Tank, and I was like, listen, Tank Davis, a dedicated and focused Tank Davis, is a dangerous Tank Davis. And the problems that Tank had in the past was just simply because of lack of focus and dedication. I've never, when you go to the eye test and look at the potential in these guys, I've never disrespected Tank's potential. But you have to fight the right fights to get fighters better. This is all across the board. This is not exclusive to one fighter. The thing with Pretty Boy Floyd and the way he came up and made Googles of money. I'm sick and tired of this new era where this whole idea that the O must not go and then you don't make money. That's just not true. Even though Floyd went undefeated, he still fought the right fights. When he was at Tank Davis's age, he wasn't fighting little guys coming up from 126. And then you look at guys like Manny Pacquiao, who's also made Google's amount of money. He has 7 losses on his record. So the whole idea that they have to move Tank in a way where he can't take a loss is ridiculous, fam, because they're not doing anything to hone those skills, to bring him up to a next level. And now we sit here at 26 years old and we saying that they don't want to throw him into the wolves. Well, the problem is that if they'd have moved him the right way, talking about skill set wise, because these Tank Davis fans always holler about how they moved him the right way, talking about him making money. Well, you can move the right way in this sport, honing your skills, fighting the best fights, and make money. But they only moved him to make money. So now we reach at 26 years old, we're still talking about, throwing them to the Lions Den and all of this nonsense. Well, if Floyd is sitting out there putting on this facade that he's better than Lomachenko, and here in 2020, he's the best at 130 and 135, then how can we turn back around and say that it would be throwing them to the wolves? That's the facade that I'm talking about. That's the hype that they're building around this guy, because you can't run around saying that he's better than everyone at 130 and 135, but then come back with the same mentality that would be throwing them to the wolves. See, that's nonsense. That's absolute nonsense, because if it's throwing them to the wolves, then he's not the best at 135. If it's throwing him to the wolves, then he's not the best at 130, right?
Well,
that's a question. All right, so can I comment on that, EJ? You cool with that?
Yeah, go ahead, Phil. Go ahead.
All right. So first thing I want to say, I don't know if during your little spiel, you were saying you can't say, and I don't know who this you person is, but a lot of the stuff you're saying that you can't say is nothing that I said specifically. So for my thing right here, for one thing I want to say is I said Leo is a competitive fighter at 130 pounds. I never said he was I believe he used an elite or something like that. But I said
valid. I said valid. You said you didn't say
valid.
that.
Yeah, I didn't say he's a valid fighter at 130. I said he's a competitive fighter at 130, right?
But how, with one fight, how is he competitive at 130 with one fight against a Miguel Flores, who's a C-level fighter? How does that make him a competitive fighter at 130? That's all he ever fought. C-level fighter.
You're gonna let me
All
finish?
right, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So yes. So when I say he's a competitive fighter at 130, that means he can go up to 130 and he can compete with those guys at 130. That's not saying he's the best, but I do think at 130 pounds, he can compete with the best guys at that division. That's what competitive means. By definition, exactly. So to move on to something else that you mentioned in here. I mean, I heard you talk a lot about Floyd at the beginning of your rebuttal, and I mean, at the end of the day, Tank is no Floyd, okay? So to compare how somebody like Floyd Mayweather has always taken his career extremely serious, excluding things outside of the ring, okay? When it always came to being in shape, training, and living boxing, nobody has done it better in my eyes than Floyd Mayweather, okay? So yeah, you're talking about a guy like Floyd comparing to a guy like Tank. That's like apples and oranges, So I think that's just kind of, we're gonna throw that out the window. And at the end of the day, when you talk about Floyd, yeah, Floyd went about his career. He did fight some good people, but Floyd did fight people at the right times as well. I'm not going to sit here and act like that Floyd didn't. He caught Oscar, because this is really when Floyd started making money, after he fought Oscar. Okay, that's when the torch had to be handed to Floyd Mayweather as far as being one of the best stars in boxing. Okay, that's when he took over the pay-per-view whole platform, and that's when he really started building and getting the ball rolling. Okay, and this was in 2007. Okay, before that, you got Jab Zuda, you got the Turo Gotti fight, you got the Baltimore fight. Really, when he really started making his bones is after he beat a older, drained Oscar De La Hoya. Okay, and people can say what they want to say, but those are the fight. Oscar was older. Oscar did have to drain down. Okay, and I mean, it just is what it is. But Floyd went in there and schooled him, and I give him props for that. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, at the end of the day, you want to say that Floyd Mayweather didn't go about his career like that. Well, he's not going to be able to mimic the way he handled his career with how he's going to handle Tank Davis's career, because they are at two different places as far as their maturity level. This is the deal right here. I also mentioned that I think Tank can compete and beat some of these guys at 35, but it's not based on skill. I think skill for skill, he's right there with every last one of these guys. I think Tank will lose because the maturity isn't there right now. And I think Floyd Mayweather recognizes that. So it's not necessarily saying, oh, he's the best fighter. He can still be the best fighter and still be inexperienced. He can still have the utmost potential, more potential than these guys, but he can be inexperienced. You understand what I'm saying? When you create a great fighter is when you take the experience and then you take the skill level and they align perfectly. I don't think right now that these two things are aligned perfectly for Tank Davis. I don't think he's as focused as a Teofimo Lopez. I give Tio credit. Tio is absolutely 110% living boxing right now. He is focused. Okay? He knows what he has to do and he's doing it. He's not missing weight. His maturity level is way beyond what I think a Tank Davis maturity level is, and Tank has been doing this longer than he has. So for me, I think Floyd Mayweather is taking the proper steps in order to, for one, build a constant, a guy that is constantly doing what he needs to do to be a good fighter. Now, this training camp, which was the first. Now let me repeat this: the first training camp where Floyd Mayweather was directly involved in Tank Davis's camp. Okay, directly involved. Up until then, Tank Davis had 2 or 3 trainers, I want to say, up until just recently. So, you mean to tell me you got one of the most talented fighters in boxing, young fighters in boxing, okay, and he's ran through 3 trainers already? That's not a knock on the trainers. That's a knock on the fighter. You're not mature enough. You're not willing to listen. It's going to take somebody like a Floyd Mayweather to bring him in, get him focused, and say, hey, you know what? We've been lollygagging and BSing long enough. Okay, now it's time for you to get serious. You're 26 years old, and people are waiting for you to really have your fight where people can say that you're the man. Okay, I'm managing you, and guess what? I'm gonna get involved in these training camps, and I'm gonna take you under my wing, and I'm gonna make sure you disciplined so we can get the most out of you. I understand that we're not getting the fights that we want Tank to get, but we're getting the fights that Floyd Mayweather thinks Tank needs at this particular time. And you can say what you want about Leo not that was still a good fight. That still was a competitive fight until he got dropped. Pedraza still, to me, still a good fight. Pedraza got dropped. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's in there fighting against really like bums. Like these guys are not bums by any stretch of anybody's imagination. These are good fighters. Maybe not great fighters at the selected weight class, but they got skills. These guys have skills. So I think Floyd Mayweather is doing what he needs to do to prepare Tank to be a great fighter. That's just my opinion. You understand what I'm saying? And in the meantime, he's building them and he's getting them rich. So I don't see the issue with that. That's just my opinion.
Okay, now first and foremost, fam, I never compared Tank to Floyd. What I said, when I mentioned Floyd and Pre-Boy, is that Floyd knows what it takes to build skills, to hone the skills. Floyd is an example of what it takes to move up the right way concerning the sweet science. I am not arguing that Floyd Mayweather and Ellerby are not lining Tank's pockets in his bank account with money. There's no argument with that. But lining a fighter's bank account with money is not turning him into a good fighter. They have been wasting time with Tank Davis. When you have a young fighter with the amateur pedigree, with the accolades that this kid had coming out of boxing, we just talked about this earlier. Those are the guys. When we were talking, I think this was before you was on, we was talking about Luke Campbell and these guys coming out of the Olympics and the amateurs with this pedigree. When they come out with that pedigree, you don't ease them along, fam. Like, this is what you saying is Floyd doing a great job. It's totally going against what we're used to seeing traditionally in boxing. When guys come out with less pedigree, when they don't have the amateurs, then those guys are generally moving in a slow fashion because they don't know enough. But when you have a guy like Tank Davis who has the pedigree that he's had, who's been through the fire during the amateur careers, you don't come bringing them up to the heavyweight division pussyfooting with them. And that's exactly what Floyd and them did because they wanted to build this facade around him. Like he is this dangerous guy. Everybody, like a lot of greats in boxing, Deontay Wilder is another situation where we could look at him. A lot of these guys, even Ali's and Haglers and a lot of these guys, Canelo, take light touches earlier in their career. So I don't see anything wrong with that. But with a guy like Canelo, who started his career off at 15 years old, he needed to take those light touches because he didn't have the amateur pedigree. But Tank had all of this behind him. And Leonard Ellerby and Floyd Mayweather, their plans was to make him a star and make money off of him. Let's not sit here and act like they were doing everything because it was just beneficial to Tank. You think TMT wasn't making money off this dude? TMT is still not making money off this dude. Floyd Mayweather is not all about the money. He is utilizing Tank as a daggone bank account, man. He's making money off of him. He's not growing any good fighter. He's growing a fighter where he can continuously make money off of, fight after fight after fight. The facts are Leo Santa Cruz has never been in the ring with anyone, and I mean anyone, that hits like a Tank Davis. The hardest puncher he probably was in the ring with was Warrington. Warrington doesn't hit nowhere near the depth of a Tank Davis. It was a loss waiting to happen. Floyd set it up. He gave Miguel Flores the belt so that Tank could get the belt off of Miguel Flores and he can call him another division champion. It's all about the facade. They never intended to bring this kid up the right way. Now, as boxing fans, when he's 26 years old, we're supposed to listen to the fact that he's not supposed to be thrown to the wolves. Well, if they would have brought him up the right way, the sweet science way, it wouldn't be throwing him to the wolves. He would already be a valid opponent, a valid contender, someone that we believe that he can beat them, right? Tank has never been in a fight with people that, what fight has Tank ever been in when we say, oh, Tank gonna get knocked out, Tank gonna get beat? It damn sure wasn't Pedraza. It damn sure wasn't Leo Santa Cruz, Yuriokis Gamboa, Nunez, Cuellar, Well, none of these guys we ever thought was gonna beat Tank Davis. And you're not gonna get better in this sport until you face attrition, until you face adversity. That's what makes these guys that come into this sport with the potential that Tank has. That's what makes them better, fam. You have to face attrition and adversity. What is Tank Davis? He's outside of the rules of that. This is boxing we're talking about. For over 100 years, you got to fight the right fights to bring you up skillfully. They're not bringing Tank up skillfully. They're bringing him up, utilizing this kid to make money off of him. And we're supposed to praise Floyd for that, saying he's bringing him up the right way? No, he's not. He's bringing him up as a money bag. And he's not preparing him to fight the top level competition because he's not putting him in there with the top level competition. You know why? Because the O must not go. I'm not giving Floyd credit for that. You got me twisted.
Okay, yeah, you don't have to give Floyd credit for that, but these sorry, so you don't have to give Floyd credit for that, but these are the facts right here. Tank Davis is one of the most well-known fighters. He's making a bunch of money, and he's just popular amongst other fighters who think he is very, very talented. So you don't have to give Floyd credit for that, but those are the facts that remain. People want to see Tank fight. Tank is winning, and Tank is getting the bag while he's doing it. Those are the facts. So you cannot agree with what Floyd is doing, but I mean, at the end of the day, the facts are the facts. I'm not going to dispute those with anybody because anybody with two eyeballs and ears can hear and see these things. Okay. Now, so when we talk about the amateurs, okay, like I don't really honestly pay a lot of attention to amateur pedigree because it's a lot of people who do well in the amateurs who move up to be professionals and are not good, and it's a lot of people that don't do well in the amateurs move up to the professionals and do very well. One of my favorite fighters, Keith Thurman, he was not a good amateur at all. Okay. But when he got to the professionals, he was a damn good fighter. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I have a different aspect for somebody who competes in the amateurs. Hell, I compete in the amateurs myself personally. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not finna put no bones into that because I just know what kind of level of competition is coming through these tournaments and fighting guys. So I don't really put a lot of stock into that. Okay, that's just my own personal way of looking at boxing. Now, when we talking about throwing this guy to the wolves, okay. Now, when I say throw him to the wolves, I'm talking about not the skill level. I'm talking about the maturity level. I don't think he's mature and experienced enough right now as far as his discipline aspect to get in with some of these guys that are far beyond him. Now, let me repeat myself. I think skill for skill, I think Tank Davis can compete with these guys. But skill is not going to always get you the win. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think being an amateur for however many years is going to get you the win. Okay? I don't think that's what gets you the win. I think getting a trainer that's going to navigate you into sharpening your skills and adding more tools to your toolbox is what's going to get you the win. Okay? I think putting experienced people around you is what's going to get you the win. And I think on your journey, okay, on your journey, yeah, each time you need to move up move up in competition as far as skill level and as far as maturity level. Like you don't have to give Floyd credit for anything. You know, he's not looking for credit from Phil Walker, EJ Boxing Live, or D Jefferson. Where Floyd gets his credit is when those numbers come in because numbers don't lie. They just don't lie. Okay. So this is where Floyd Mayweather gets his credit. This is where Floyd Mayweather says, okay, well, I'm doing a good job. Well, me, if I sit back and think with a logical mind, I can say, well, yeah, I'm definitely gonna pay for a pay-per-view with Tank because I want to see him fight. I want to see what he's bringing to the table. Do I see a difference in his maturity level? Is he in shape? What his condition is looking like? Yeah, I'm gonna pay for the pay-per-view. Okay. And in doing so, guess what? I do think Tank is a very, very talented fighter. I'm not gonna take that away from him. I would think that everybody thinks he's a talented fighter. That's why people want to see him fight against the top dogs. So, okay, you got a talented fighter. You got him on pay-per-view. People are tuning in to watch it. He's got better numbers than the pound for pound number one guy in the world. You cannot give him credit, but at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather is doing something right in managing Tank Davis's career. Just because us, the fans, the spectators, aren't getting the fights that we want right away, right when we want them, don't mean he's not doing a good job. Don't mean that we're not going to get those fights. You understand what I'm saying? I do think we're going to get those fights, but we're going to get them on a timeline where the guys that oversee him think he's ready for those fights because at the end of the day, like you just mentioned, they don't want the O to go. They don't want the O to go. They want to keep on building these fighters. Period.
Okay.
Building these fighters. And it just is what it is. He's not looking for validation from me and you, D Jefferson. You know what I'm saying? He looks for validation for one, his fighter. His fighter. He wants approval from his fighter that his fighter feels like he's doing what he needs to do in his career. And I mean, at the end of the day, bro, like Tank, everybody knows Tank is not a disciplined fighter right now in his career. Okay, and I think Floyd Mayweather knows that. This is why I believe Floyd has now took it upon himself to say, "Hey, I am going to be involved in every single," because he said it. He's been on wax. He said, "I'm going to be involved in every single one of Tank's training camps from here on until the end of time, as long as he's down with TMT." He's come out and said this because he knows the same thing that we know. It's almost time it's barbecue and mildew at this point. And he knows that Tank have the skills to do what he needs to do. He just needs somebody with experience to push him and make sure that he maintains the focus during the duration of this entire journey that he's going on with Floyd Mayweather. And for me personally, I think, you know what, you build up a fighter and then now you got to say, okay, now this is what you need to do. It's no different than the same thing that Oscar De La Hoya did with his whole career. He was a hype job for a long, long time, my brother. He was. Don't make him less of a fighter. Don't make him less of a fighter. You understand what I'm saying? He got in there with those guys, and guess what? He didn't get in there with those guys immediately when we wanted him to. He got in there when he thought he needed to get in there with those guys. And it's no different than what's going on right now with Tank. Some slight differences. But what I'm saying is you can take this journey that Floyd Mayweather is bringing Tank Davis on and still have a successful career, still fight the guys that we want to fight, and at the same time still line your pocket with a whole lot of dope. And right now, the numbers show that he's going about it pretty good. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying our opinions are our opinions, but at the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather's gonna say, look at those numbers. I mean, look at those numbers.
All right, Phil, let me just say this, and I'm gonna end it with this. I ain't even gonna come back after this because you keep running back to the numbers, okay? And then you sit here and tell me Floyd don't care about my opinion. I don't expect that he cares about my opinion. But as a boxing fan, and why a lot of fans don't go for Tank Davis, and why Tank Davis fans call it hating on Tank Davis, this is the thing. We are fans of boxing, the sport of boxing. And how much money Tank Davis is getting his pockets lined with while doing nothing in boxing is not why we watch boxing. But this is what Tank Davis fans keep running back to. Floyd's doing a great job because he's making him rich. He's making a guy rich that is not prepared for top-level competition. And you guys call that a good job. This is the reality of it. Floyd has built a fighter. He's 26 years old now. He is a draw. He is a draw. No one's arguing that. Y'all always say y'all mad because Floyd making them. I'm not mad at that. I'm good. Both of those guys, get your bag. But as a boxing fan, I'm not watching guys to see them get their bag, but not fight the best level competition. And we're supposed to respect Floyd because he's built a boxer that's getting that bag. Much kudos for that. No arguments there. Nothing you can't argue about the fact that he's turned Tank into a fighter that can make money. Who is arguing that? The argument was Tank Davis's skill set, where Floyd has him placed, where Floyd Mayweather, what Floyd says, the same guy handling him, he's the best. He's better than all of these guys. Now, you gave us your opinions and your feelings, but that's not what Floyd is pushing into the media, my friend. He's not pushing that into the media. You're explaining what Floyd means. No, that's not what Floyd is saying to us. That's your perception or perspective of what Floyd is saying. But what Floyd is directly telling me, and what I've heard him say out his mouth, is none of them can beat Tank at 130 or 135. He is by far the best at 130 and 135. And he's not talking about the best concerning how much money he's making. He's talking about the best fighter. And that, my friend, is a facade, because you already admitted that Tank ain't ready to go in there. But Floyd is telling the public that he's better than all of them, right? That's called a facade. The only thing Floyd and Ellaby did that we can say he did a good job of is making Tank money. But making this kid a good boxer, he ain't done a good job of. And that is the fans, the boxing fans who love the sport of boxing, who love the guys to see the best fight the best, who love to see guys get in there and go through adversity and attrition, who love to see the guys brought up the right way in the sweet science. We're saying that Floyd has built a star that is not ready for top-level competition. So if you want to praise him for that, fine. But I'm not saying that he didn't do a good job at making this kid money. I'm not mad that he is making money off of this kid and that kid is making money. You know, these guys put their lives at risk, so they should leave this sport with some money. I'm cool with that. But if you're going to sit up here and tell me Floyd's doing a good job concerning making him a great fighter, that's BS. That is 100% BS, because you don't wait until a guy's 26 years old and then say, okay, now we're going to start testing. Get out of here with that, man.
All right. So you just said so. What is Floyd Mayweather's position for Tank Davis? What does he do? He's just promoter, right?
Yeah, he's a promoter.
Okay, so all right. So as a promoter, your job as a promoter, your job is for one to.
No, is he only Phil? Is he only a promoter? No, is he only a promoter, Phil? Because that's no. Is he only Tank's promoter, or is he promoter, manager? He's more than just his promoter. So let's not just go on the promoter angle, because I know where you're going with that. He does more than just promote.
I thought you was done, man. I thought you was
done.
Yeah,
I know, but you get ready to go on this silliness about. Is he only his promoter? Is he only his promoter?
Yo, bruh, calm down. I thought we was talking, man. Why you so
I know,
excited?
but is he only his promoter? Be honest about this stuff, Phil.
It's just Thursday, baby. Ain't nothing to be excited
I know,
about.
but be honest, Phil. Is he only his promoter?
Bruh, you gonna let me say what I need to say, or you gonna keep screaming and yelling over me? Because you said you was done. All right.
Go ahead, Phil.
Let me continue talking. All right. So as Floyd Mayweather is Tank Davis's promoter. Okay. Now, part of being a promoter is building a star. Floyd Mayweather has absolutely built a star in Tank Davis. Okay. Now, for me, I am giving credit to Floyd Mayweather for absolutely building a star as what promoters should do. Okay. Now, nobody has to give credit to Floyd for doing that. But in my opinion, like I've always say, I'm not speaking for Floyd. In my opinion, I think Floyd Mayweather has done a good job in that regard. Okay. And anybody who wants to disagree with that, then
I agree. As a promoter, I agree.
All right. So Floyd Mayweather. So we both agree that Floyd Mayweather has done a good job as
a promoter.
We have agreed that Floyd Mayweather has done a great job in creating a star in Tank Davis as his promoter. We agree with that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you say he's just more than a promoter, right? I agree with that. Now,
right.
Hold on. Now let me finish. Now, I agree with Floyd Mayweather is more than just a promoter. Now, Floyd Mayweather just recently has become more than just a promoter to Tank Davis. Leading all the way up to the Leo Santa Cruz fight. Floyd Mayweather was not directly involved in Tank Davis's camps. He was not directly involved in any aspect of Tank Davis's training to fight the fighters that he was going to fight. Yeah, of course. Yeah, he selects the fighters. He selects the fighters that he wants Tank Davis to fight. But as far as the skill aspect of Tank Davis, Floyd Mayweather, I would say, was pretty much non-existent. Would you agree or disagree with that?
Disagree 100%.
Okay, so you can disagree with that, and that's fine.
Well, I have reason, then I will tell you why.
No, that's cool. I know for sure Tank Davis has had, since he's been a professional, he has had three trainers. Now, I don't know what his record is exactly. I can't say it off the top of my head, but he's had 20-something fights. 20-something fights, and he's had 3 trainers. Okay. Now, to me, that's really not. That's pretty ridiculous, man. Most young fighters, with the kind of talent that Tank has, pretty much stays with one trainer for a while, and then whenever they peak with that trainer, a lot of times that's when they go ahead and switch and say, "Hey, I got to bring some kind of different aspect to my skills because I've peaked with you." You know, that's when you see guys change typically. But with Tank Davis, that's not been the case. Okay, that's not been the case. So for me, in my opinion, I think Floyd just recently got involved in the aspect of making sure that Tank is focused. Number one, focused, and now honing on his skills. Now, in my opinion, I think Floyd has reached the pinnacle where he has promoted Tank, made him a star. Now it's getting to the point to where Floyd knows for a fact that, okay, Tank, you can't bullshit now. Excuse my language. You can't lollygag. You can't BS. So, because you're going to have to fight these top level guys coming up here because that's where your stardom has reached. So now Floyd Mayweather is involved in Tank in the aspect of Tank's skill more than he has ever been involved in the aspect of Tank's skill. So I think 26 years old, you keep saying 26, bruh, that's really like, I mean, you saying like the dude is 30 or 40 or something like that. That's still fairly young. I'm going to be honest with you. That's fairly young. A lot of these guys are in their prime in their late 20s, 28, 30 years, and at the beginning of 30 years old. It's a lot when we getting a lot of these big fights from these guys, okay? You got a couple of exceptions in there, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think 26, he's a very good age right now. And I think right now, during this point in his career, he realizes that, you know what? Floyd Mayweather, realizes that, hey, you're going to have to bring your skill level a notch up, and that starts with dedication first. That starts because a lot of times when you're in the gym, you're putting the work in. It's when you're not in the gym. So that starts with dedication first. Focus, okay? And then everything falls in after that. It's a lifestyle. And I think right now Floyd is directly involved in Tank's career because he realizes that the thing that Tank is missing the most is dedication and focus. He can put him in the ring and make sure his skill gets there. Like he could do that. That ain't no problem. He got the skill to do what he needs to do. He's lacking the dedication and the focus to beat some of these top level guys. And Floyd Mayweather knows that. That's why he had to put him in there. But now Floyd is realizing, hey, I need to make sure that this guy gets these tools so he can be successful and we can keep this train moving forward. Period. Okay. So again, you speaking about Tank like, oh, he's not fighting. He's still fighting good fighters. It's not like he's not doing anything like, let's just say, a Demetrius Andrade who's fighting nobodies and still saying he's the best in the world. At least Tank is putting credible guys on his resume. Although he is a favorite going into these fights, he's not fighting tomato cans. He's fighting skillful fighters that are respected within the sport. That's just is what it is. And I thought you was done, but you got something else to say. Let me hear what you got.
Yeah, I got something else to say, bro. Because you can't with this. You going right back to the same thing. Like you going with circles. You going in circles. You keep going back to. Before you just went on that spiel, I just said that there is no argument what Floyd has done concerning his money. But this is why I say you cannot say, oh, as a promoter, no one's arguing that as a promoter, but as a handler, as a guy that does matchmaking for Tank. See, when you're his handler and you're the guy that is totally responsible for the matchmaking. And let's not sit here and play like we can say that Floyd wasn't in the ring training him and had his hands off. That's true, but he was totally responsible for the matchmaking. The matchmaking, Mr. Phil. Yeah, hold on. Now, my turn. The matchmaking.
No, that's exactly what I said. I said he's responsible.
Okay, so now let me finish my point, because this is why I'm not going to jump on Floyd's bandwagon and praise him for bringing up Tank the right way. When I say, maybe we're confused here, or there's a disconnect. When I say he has not brought him up the right way, I am specifically talking about the lines of the sweet science. I'm not talking about the money he's lining his pockets with and turning them into a star. I'm not talking about he didn't do a good job at that. I'm talking about the sweet. I'm talking about the sweet.
Because I don't want to.
Hold on, bro.
I don't want it to be a disconnect. Let me ask you something. Just 1 second. When you say the sweet science, again, what do you mean specifically about the sweet science? Because I'm trying to
Okay,
see how you equate the sweet science on how somebody performs with
because I
who
keep
they
saying it,
fighting
Phil.
for.
I said it already 100 times, and you keep going back to the money side of it. I've explained this. Okay, well, Phil, see, now you cutting me off. Now you cutting me off. I'm answering your
I'm asking
question.
you a question. You gonna
All
answer
right,
it
bro,
or what?
that's still cutting me off, whether you asking me a question in between or not. You still cutting me off, man. But go ahead, ask your question.
I just asked you, what do you mean specifically about the sweets? You
Okay,
said
well, be quiet
helping
so
them
I
with
can explain it, fam. Then let me explain it then. This is what I'm saying. I'm getting ready to explain it. You coming back again. So let me explain what I'm saying, because I've said this a bunch of times, and this is what I'm saying. You keep running back to the money. When I say the sweet science, and with most of the fans that don't advocate for Tank Davis like you do, okay, when we talk about the sweet science, we're talking about bringing these guys up, fighting the right competition so that their skills can get better. You guys are saying that Floyd didn't do that because he wanted to make him a star and didn't do that when he's 26 years old. Traditionally, how many boxers, since this is the right thing, Floyd is doing the right thing with Tank Davis, how many success stories do we have in boxing? All the way back in history of guys being moved this way and being a success story. Because there's no success story. Hold on, Phil. Hold on, Phil. There are no success stories in boxing with guys being brought up through bullshit through my bad, EJ, through BS competition, like fighting smaller guys that we know he could beat. Nothing, no adversity, nothing to hone those skills. I don't know of any success stories of guys being brought up that way to the age of 26. And then we turn around and say, okay, now we're going to start. Oscar De La Hoya is not an example of that. He is not an example of that at all, not even close. And I'll tell you why he's not an example of that, because of the difference in the eras. The difference in the eras of boxing. In the era of boxing when Oscar De La Hoya was that age, and you know boxing, Phil, the way I know boxing, the level of opposition all around was much greater than it is now. And there's no argument with that. So hold on, Phil. See, you don't like to hear this stuff. So let me finish, fam. I'm not cutting you off, so let me finish. No more questions in between what I'm saying here, fam. Let me finish. All right.
I didn't ask you a question. I said I agree with you.
Okay, right. So Oscar wasn't brought up like Tank Davis. Tank Davis is being brought up as a facade, fam. And when I say he's being brought up as a facade, y'all guys run to the promotional side of it. I ain't talking about no money in his pocket. I'm talking about the fact that the same handlers, the same matchmakers are saying that he's better than everyone. And they're putting that out there so that people can buy these pay-per-views. That is a facade, fam. Because Floyd knows this game too well. He knows that he's not better than everyone. But this is the message that he's putting out there. And he's putting on these fights with guys like Leo Santa Cruz. And he's saying this guy's a 4-division champion. It's a competitive fight. So he's using a fight that we know is no way he can win to push this message that this guy is the bee's knees, right? So it's all a facade, because matchmaking-wise and setting him up in the right fights to build attrition, to face adversity, to actually become this fighter that you're claiming he is. See, Tank is not the fighter Floyd is claiming he is. So if it comes to him coming up to be all-time great, Floyd is not bringing him up right like that. He's claiming that this is what Tank is, but that's not the way he's bringing him up. And I'm not going to praise Floyd for bringing him up that way just because he's lining his pocket and Tank's pockets with money. Because this is what y'all always run to. Oh, he's a star, ain't he? Ain't Floyd doing this as far as promotions? I'm not arguing what he's doing as far as promotions making money. I'm talking about the way Floyd moves him. I've been consistently saying this. I stopped being a fan of Tank Davis because of the way Floyd and Ellerby was moving him. I didn't say I stopped being a fan of Tank Davis because they're only making him money. Nobody said that. I said the way they're moving him, and that's concerning matchmaking. That's concerning setting them up in the right fights so that they can hone those skills, so that they can improve those skills. Because after 24 doggone fights, fam, this dude is 24 with 23 knockouts, and you're 26 years old, you should be one of the top level guys. You should be up there with the Lomachinkos and the Teofimo. We shouldn't be questioning the fact that you're not up there. Teofimo's up there with 16 fights. I'm not going to sit here and cry about Tank Davis's lack of discipline. That means he's not the boxer he's supposed to be. But we're supposed to give Floyd a pass because this dude wasn't disciplined? Floyd was the one doing the matchmaking. So matchmaking is all about putting him in the right fights with attrition. But Floyd didn't care about putting him in the right fights with attrition and adversity because he was trying to make money off of him. And those are the facts.
Hey,
Okay.
I was gonna say something before Phil, because I'm gonna lie to you, bro. The same thing you saying, well, look at what the same thing you saying about what Tank. I'd say the same thing about anyway. What we were arguing about before. Who's he for? Who's the biggest puncher he fought? Old Nito Donaire. All boxers doing that. The fact of the matter is that, like, the thing is, they're still in their career. Tank still has the chance to fight them guys there when he's ready, and when he fights them, then your argument is going to be smaller and smaller. But your argument is valid right now. But because they're still active in their career, you're all entitled to your opinion. That's what I would say right now, because I'll be honest with you, Tank has been built the right way, in my opinion. Shit, I'm telling you, because before Floyd came along, black fighters be getting dealt dirty in terms of the money. Floyd didn't like the money he was getting offered by Bob Arum. He said, I'm going to change the thing. I'm going to make sure the guys get paid, make sure the guys have fights that they're going to be exciting fights. And Tank's doing that. He's knocking guys out. He's building him as a pay-per-view star. That all the fighters that look at him is like, well, I think I can beat Tank. I'm going to fight Tank. So now they're calling them out, like, what's his name, Lopez. They want to fight Tank because they getting paid. Like, the Tifa Lopez don't get paid. Yo, Tank's getting paid. He's the biggest earner. He's the biggest earner, and you're right. There might be fragilities, and you think he could lose to these guys, but that's what makes it a great fight, and we're gonna find out, because he's gonna fight him when he's ready. I thought the Lomachenko fight would happen years ago, but Floyd's building him to the point where everyone in the division wants to fight him. He's becoming the cash cow of the division without actually fighting, like you said, maybe the best guys. I was happy when he beat Pedraza. I thought that was a great step up for him. And you're right about the discipline. You 100% about the discipline, because he comes overweight. But in my opinion, for right now, I'm good with Tank. I mean, I understand if and you're entitled to your criticism, and it's valid. It is valid. It is. Discipline. I don't think he's got that. And everything you say, but I'm just saying, like, for me, I'm happy the way they're doing it. But like, I hear what you're saying. But go ahead, Phil. Go ahead, Phil.
No, well, EJ, just before and it's your panel, so I don't say nothing about you cutting me off. You could do what you want, dog, because that's what I always tell people on my panel. But no, the Donaire and again, Donaire and Omar Narvaez. This is my thing. So you can say what you say about Hanoi, and you felt the same way. But this is why I'm saying it's not the same. People thought that Omar Narvaez would beat Neo Hanoi. People thought, a lot of people was betting money. I know you've seen the odds that Nito Donaire would knock Hanoi out. Tank Davis have never been in that situation. We've never thought he would lose. Even with Pedraza, going into the Pedraza fight, I don't know if you guys remember, but when you go back and you look at the weigh-in, I was talking to my uncles and people, man, look how drained he looked. Tank is going to kill this dude. Because we knew he looked drained going into the fight. He looked like a doggone refugee going into that fight, bro.
I gotta disagree with you, bro. My man from Puerto Rico, at the time they were.
Bro, I am black and Puerto Rican, fam. Don't tell me that. He was freaking drained.
Hold on. You don't need to interrupt like that, man. There's something like, yo, you're coming across flashy. I'm talking about my man from Puerto Rico. I was speaking to. Damn, bro. Go ahead. I was talking from Puerto Rico, telling me that Pedraza the next coming. Telling me that Tank gonna get his ass whipped. I go, real? No, I never. And listen to the thing, I never had no dog in the race because I didn't know who Tank is. Remember, I'm from the UK, right? So I'm just listening. Yo, Tank gonna get his ass beat tonight. He gonna hype Joe with Floyd. He gonna get his ass whipped. So I tuned in the fight and I saw Tank put ass whooping on that dude who was a champion and he had a couple of defenses. I was like, yo, this dude's all right. This dude's all right. And then he looks. Then obviously on the weight, he can't make the weight. So I'm like, oh man, he be messing around with Floyd again. Is his career gonna pick up? He's gonna be like blown away. He ain't taking his career seriously. So the criticisms you bringing is good. But what I'm saying is this, right? You're trying you ain't seen him fought a dangerous opponent for you to give him that respect. Yo, that's fine. But I'm gonna tell you, right, as a professional fighter, and as you've seen the Lyndon Arthur fight and the Yanni Yard fight, they need to make that money so they can look after their family. And the pro game is far in between how much money you can make. If you with Floyd, you're going to get looked after. You're going to make the most money. And he's going to give you fights that you should be able to win. And that's the way it is, bro. And yo, go ahead, bro. Like, who was? I think it was Phil, though, by the way. But go ahead, D. Jefferson.
Yeah, yes, hold up. Yeah. So this is my thing right here, bro. Like, nobody is sitting here And it's the thing. I'm not advocating for Tank Davis. I feel the same way about Tank Davis. You know what I'm saying? I think Tank needs to take better fights. I've been saying that about Tank. I've been saying that about a couple of different fighters. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody's advocating that Tank is out here fighting. And again, you keep saying we're going back to the money. I know several times I've said, hey, man, you act like this guy is just fighting against guys that aren't good fighters, that aren't respectable fighters. He's fighting guys like Leo and Pedraza and Gamboa. These guys are respectable fighters at the end of the day. I even mentioned, I say it's not like he's doing like Andrade. So I'm giving you the fighting aspect, but all you're hearing is the money part because that's what you want to focus on. Okay? So for me, this is what I'm saying right here. Tank is not fighting against tomato cans. Do I think Tank is fighting the best people that he can possibly can? No. Anybody with two eyes can see that. Okay? I'm not debating that aspect of it. But what I will debate is, guess what? Floyd Mayweather knows his fighter and knows right now that, guess what? His fighter is not ready to take that next step at this very moment. And I think that's why he is more involved, because he realizes that, okay, I've built you to where the point to where you're built now. Okay, I built you up. Now you're going to have to prove it in the ring against literally some of the best guys. You know, and you can say that Tank's not included in it. Tank is always included in the conversation with Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko, and those guys. I have never heard somebody debate those weight classes without mentioning Tank Davis. And if you have, then guess what? I want to come in that channel and I don't want to say nothing. I just want to listen. Okay? Because as much as you're saying that he hadn't fought those guys, for whatever reason, people is always mentioning his name when you talk about the best fighters at those two weight classes. That's not just because he's a tomato can or he's a bum. It's because he's a talented fighter. He's a talented fighter. So for me personally, you know, at the end of the day, when you talk about Lomachenko, when you talk about Teofimo, Teofimo, I do feel like Teofimo is going for it all because, you know, he just has a different strategy. One thing that may work for one fighter is not going to necessarily work for the next fighter. Prime example, Lennox Lewis was a late bloomer. Yes or no? Exactly. He was a late bloomer. Lennox did all his damage toward the back end of his career. He built his legendary status on the back end of his career, not at the beginning. So guess what? Each fighter is going to develop at his own pace. And as managers, as promoters, as trainers, you got to know how to manage these guys. You have to know how to take that skill, recognize it, and then navigate it in which a manner that is going to be something like a Lennox Lewis, where he's going to be a legend at the end of his career. So I don't see an issue with what Floyd Mayweather is doing. We all know that Tank is not fighting tomato cans. He's fighting guys that, in a sense, can help him work on some particular aspects of his skill. That's and you know, boxing is kind of one of those things where we are going to give our own specific opinions what we think Tank needs to work on. But at the end of the day, he's fighting credible fighters. That's the only thing I can say for sure. He's fighting credible fighters. He's not fighting tomato cans. Now, whether you think somebody is drained or whether you think somebody is smaller, you know, you can't make an argument for both. Well, Pedraza was drained. Well, Leo was too small. Like, it's like he's, you know what I'm saying? He's fighting. Hold on, one second. So he's fighting credible guys. We want him to fight we want him to fight the Lopez's. We want him to fight the Lomachenkos. We want him to fight those guys. That's cool. We understand that. I'm not debating that. But at the end of the day, I think right now, the way he's going about his career and the way Floyd Mayweather has placed him, I don't see an issue with that. Everybody wants everybody to fight the best. So I don't know why that's even a debate if that's the angle that you're coming from. And I'm really done with this at this time. We can move on to this AJ Pulev.
Yeah, that's not the angle I'm talking about, fam. Not even at all. I said Floyd is not doing a good job bringing this kid up concerning the sweet science. And he's just simply not. He's simply not. Listen, I didn't make no argument about Pedraza. Man, EJ said he boxed, and I think you said you boxed too. I ain't making no argument. Y'all couldn't see that Pedraza was drained. Did we know Brooke was drained? Come on, bro. We know this sport enough. It's no argument. Y'all didn't know that Leo Santa Cruz was coming up for 126 and didn't really display punching power at 126. What was he going to do to Tank? We knew Tank, if you had any brains, you knew Tank was going to chew those punches up and eventually walk into him and knock him out. That's why they call him Tank, right? Because he can take harder punches from guys that can punch hard. Leo could never punch hard. So it's not something that I'm making up. This is stuff that we should know already. Floyd knew it. That's why he put him in there and built this facade up. And so what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying, fam. I get everything y'all saying about what Tank is doing for this guy, and brothers or fighters get cheated from the sport of boxing. I agree with all of that. So Floyd's making sure that he gets paid well. I'm not arguing that. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that I'm supposed to praise Floyd for bringing him up the right way, then I'll say it like this. I will give Floyd praise for bringing Tank up the right way as far as getting him paid. But I'm not going to give Floyd an inch of praise for bringing Tank up the right way as far as preparing him to fight the best. Because at 26 years old, with all of the talent that he had in him, he should be ready to fight the best, bro. He shouldn't be starting the journey to get ready to fight the best with all of the potential and talent he came into the pro level with. Not at 26. He should already be there. How is it even possible that a kid like Teofimo Lopez, or even more kids, look at how Ryan Garcia is moving. He's getting ready to fight Luke Campbell. People think that Luke Campbell could potentially beat Ryan Garcia because Ryan hasn't fought anyone. This is what I'm saying. Tank has not been in those fights that pushes your skill to the next level. And because Floyd lined his money with pockets, I'm going to sit up here and say that he brought him the right way concerning the sweet science. Yo, Tank is a star. He's going to get paid money off of his fights. But the facts of the matter is he's not ready for the top-level guys. And after 24 fights with a 90% knockout ratio, he should be ready for the top guys. The facade that Floyd has put in is that he's talked about. You say Tank has talked about. You can't go into one debate where Tank is not talked about. That is the facade that Floyd has put up around him. Floyd just came out after the Leo Santa Cruz win and say he's the best at 130 and 135. So of course people are going to be talking about him because this is the most polarizing figure in boxing today is Floyd Mayweather. So if the most polarizing figure in boxing says something, then people are going to talk about it. That's how he's building Tank's facade up because it's Floyd that's doing it. So of course people are going to be talking about freaking Tank is the best because Floyd said it. That dude, who got a bigger voice in boxing than Floyd? Of course people are going to be talking about him in the conversation. But if Floyd didn't build this facade, if he didn't build Tank to make people believe he's the best instead of Tank actually being the best, then he wouldn't be talked about, man.
All right. So, hey, are we ready to move on? Ready to move on.
I'm good, bro. I'm good because nobody's gonna bring me to. We don't need to keep going back and forth because ain't nobody gonna make me believe that Floyd is bringing this kid. That kid is not prepared to fight the best guys, and that's my argument. He's just not fight the best.
Okay, all right. So Bob Arum was on what's his name, the barbershop conversation yesterday night. So I was listening to him about the Crawford and the Spence situation. And he's basically saying he don't care. As far as he's concerned, he's kind of done with Crawford. He don't care where he goes. He just wants to get that fight on. He don't care if it's on ESPN. He don't care where it is. He wants to have Crawford fight Spence in the next fight. He ain't even care about Pacquiao. He knows that ain't even going that way. But he's desperate to get the Crawford and Spence thing on. But I don't know how that go along. I was saying to YG, I don't see how that happening because Bob Arum sued Al Heyman, tried to embarrass him when he first came into boxing, and Al Heyman done his due diligence and said, "Yo, you know what? I ain't doing you no more. I ain't gonna talk to you. I ain't gonna be like Don King. I ain't gonna be like Eddie Hearn, where you gonna say some greasy stuff, and then you gonna try and do some deals with me. We ain't doing that. I'm just gonna block you out, and I'm gonna stay on my side of the fence, and that's what I'm gonna do. The only way your fighter can do is your fight has to come on my side of the fence, but I ain't doing nothing with you." So Bob Arum's been squashed into the corner, and now he's got a fighter that he ain't making no money off, but Crawford is making money, but we want to see that fight. Now, Bob Arum's saying is like, okay, so the contract is running out, so if he wants to get his money in return, he needs to be making that fight. I don't see how we gonna do it. I think the only way it's gonna happen is Crawford leaves, and goes to the PVC side. And I think when he goes over there, I'm gonna tell you right now, everyone's thinking Crawford's looking tremendous and everyone looks great and they built him well. But let's be real. He ain't fighting the level of competition that Spence is facing. So I don't know how that fight's going to go about. But Bob Arum pointed out on the barbershop conversation that Crawford has longer arms. He's definitely hitting, punching very hard. He maybe feels a bit versatile. And I agree with them things. But you can only say that when you fight the level of Sean Porter's, the Danny Garcia's. You know what I'm saying? When you fight them kind of level of competition. So what's your guys' take on that?
Man, Bob Arum just said that Kubrat Pulev was going to knock out AJ. So forget about what Bob Arum says was going to happen in the fight. But as far as Terrence Crawford and this whole Errol Spence situation, look, man, I feel what you're saying, EJ, because I put a video up a while back ago when Bob came out on Fight Hype, like, Al Haymon is a disgrace to boxing. He's disgusting, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, how they expect to make the fight when he comes out like that, right? Right after he comes out with all of that nonsense he says about Al Haymon. Then you're going to go sit at the negotiation table? I said Bob Arum knew doggone well that wasn't going to open up lines for negotiation, and that was his way to marinate this fight. But see, Crawford fans don't want to hear that. They just want to hear Spence dunk, Spence dunk, Spence dunk. No, these promoters do what they can do to marinate these fights so that they can build revenue, more revenue, build suspense, and make people want to finally pay for this fight. That was Bob Arum's technique, right, to delay this fight. But on the flip side of that, I don't want to hear that Al Haymon and Bob Arum won't work together either, because Fury and Joshua just dispels all of that. I mean, Wilder and Joshua dispels all of that. This is the heavyweight division, the most popular, the biggest money-making division, and these two idiots just work together, or Wilder and Fury. So the fight can be made. They're both marinating the fight. This is what the fans have to understand. Spence fans want to blame Crawford, even though Crawford got ticked off with what was going on over there at Top Rank, and he told all of you fans, that man ain't ducking me. You know why Crawford came out and said that? People say, oh, Crawford came out and said this because Spence this, because no, Crawford came out and said that because he could see at that point that it was his own promoter doing things to marinate this fight. But the fans don't want to grasp that concept. They just want to blame one of the other two fighters. They want to blame Crawford for ducking. They want to blame Spence for ducking. Now, these fighters, they play their own part in the whole duck scenario. When they come out their mouths and they say certain things, right? I'm a Spence fan, huge Spence fan, one of my top 5 guys. But I gave Spence heat when he came out on the Fight Hype video and he says, well, I'm getting ready to go over here and I'm going to beat Sean Porter, take this belt from him. And then when we get this belt, we're going to go to the negotiation table with Arum and Crawford, and let's hear them talk about 50-50. So after he beats Sean Porter, he doesn't even mention Crawford. Now, wait a minute. I thought you said after you beat Porter, you was going to go to the negotiation table and then see if they talk 50-50. Well, after you beat Porter, you never went to the negotiation table or even mentioned it. So right then and there, coming from Spence's mouth, I'm going to give him heat for saying he's a duck. My fellow Spence fans say, oh, you a fake Spence fan, this, that, and the third. No, the man just said he was going to take that belt from Porter and then go back to the negotiation table, and it never happened. Now, we fast forward to this day and time. Terrence Crawford comes out and says, no, I'm 60-40. Well, if you're overpricing yourself and you know damn well you're not 60-40, and then right after that, a reporter asks you if you could fight Spencer Pacquiao, who you want next? Pacquiao. You're overpricing yourself. No, it's Crawford that should be considered ducking this. If y'all want to point at the fighters, but fans can't do that. The reality is the networks have been doing everything they can. Both Al and Bob. Let's not blame it one way or the other. The networks want to make the most out of this fight that they can. The pandemic got in the way, so we know fans are not going to be there. So all of this nonsense going on, guys, is nothing but delays from the networks. Y'all can keep crying about these two guys, which of these guys are ducking, but Crawford already told you. Crawford already told you that man ain't ducking me. Spence already said himself. Crawford ain't scared of me. But these silly ass fans want to keep saying Spence ducking, Crawford ducking, Spence ducking, and just be blind to the things that Arum and Haymon are doing. Come on, bro. Like, this boxing stuff is just silly sometimes, because we can read articles. We can listen to what these guys say and figure everything out. We don't have to listen to different YouTube channels and call and play one side of the field or other. Crawford's a duck. Spence is a duck. If you're going to be real about it, be real about it. Spence ducked at one point verbally, you know, by what he said. Crawford's ducking verbally by what he's saying. But the reality is Bob Arum and it's Al Heyman that's not making this fight happen, because they ain't had no problem making 2 fights happen with heavyweights. Heavyweights, the biggest division in boxing. And they found a way to make those 2 fights happen.
Go ahead, Phil.
All right, man. So this the thing right here. You know, I like EJ. You know what I'm saying? You know, Earl Spence is you know, one of the top guys that to me, he's the top guy at 147 pounds. I mean, period. I mean, to me, it shouldn't even be a debate who's the top dog at 147 pounds, right? But this is the deal right here. For me, I also heard an interview where Earl Spence said, hey, you know, I'm going to fight you, but I'm going to clean up my side of the street first. You understand what I'm saying? And so far, that's exactly what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? He said, well, you didn't say Crawford name and all this other kind of stuff. That's a duck. And hey, man, this man said, I'm going to clean up my side of the street first, and then I'm going to fight you. That's what it's going to be. And this is my issue with that right there. While Spence is talking about cleaning up his side of the street, I mean, he ain't taking no light touches. You know what I'm saying? He taking the next best guys after him in Bud Crawford. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't say the same thing about Bud Crawford. I can't.
Nope.
I can't say the same thing about Bud Crawford. Now, for me, do I think Crawford is one of the best in the division? Hell yeah, no doubt about it. Do I want him to Spence to fight? Hell yeah, no doubt about it. But again, me personally, I'm gonna look at it from both sides of the table. I don't think either one of these guys are scared to fight one another. That's the first thing. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm gonna put into perspective. Okay, well, if these guys aren't fighting each other, then who are these guys fighting? Okay. I got to take that into consideration. Well, you're not giving us the fight that we want. Well, what's the next best fight that can be made? I think EJ is doing that. I think Earl Spence Jr. is giving us the very next fight that can be made outside of the biggest fight in the welterweight division. Okay? So, for me personally, I don't think it's either one or the other's faults. Excuse me. I think that, for one, Al Heyman, PBC, is going to make the fights with his guys. I mean, everybody knows that when it comes to the negotiating table, belts does a lot more than hold up your pants. You understand what I'm saying? They hold a lot of weight when it comes to negotiating. Why would I go and risk one of my fighters going over to Top Rank? He's the unified champion, and I could possibly give up 2 belts. Well, I got Sean Porter over here with a belt. I got Manny Pacquiao over here with a belt now. Then guess what? It makes sense to fight these guys with these belts. You know why? Because they got belts, because they're good damn fighters, man. That's why they got belts. So guess what? I'm going to fight these good fighters, credible opponents, hard-nosed champions. I'm going to get these belts, and when I come to the negotiating table with you, I'm going to have 3 straps, and guess what? I got better numbers than you as far as viewership. So when it's time to negotiate, I don't want to hear I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. It's a strategic play by PBC and Al Heyman. Okay, Bob Arum is delaying this fight because he knows that when it comes to the negotiations, at this point in time, he doesn't really have any leverage.
Yeah.
Bob Arum does not have an ounce of leverage. Terence Crawford does not have the numbers to compete with Earl Spence Jr. He just doesn't. Okay. Yeah. He's only got 1 belt. Okay. And people, really kind of be, dropping feces on that belt if you really want to be honest about it. Right. Okay. Then on top of that, Terence Crawford is the only thing that Bob Arum has on in his favor is that he's the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world, which is an imaginary thing. Like, it's not like, it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this sounds great. He's number 1 pound for pound. But that's not going to help you at the negotiating table. And if it does, it's going to be minuscule. Bob isn't making much money off of Crawford right now because he's already came out and said it. But at the end of the day, kudos to Crawford for signing the contract that he did, because regardless if Bob makes money, Terence Crawford knows that his money is guaranteed based off that contract. So kudos to him for getting one over on Sneaky Bob. You understand what I'm saying? So Bob Arum knows that he's going to the last opportunity that he's going to have to make a big payday on, or even break even with Bud Crawford, is the EJ fight. So I do think it is a lot of manipulation and just let's just marinate the fight going through Bob Arum's head right now, because for one, he's got to come up with a plan, because whatever plans you had at the beginning of the year, they are null and void because of COVID.
Yeah.
So now you got to go back, re-strategize, and I think Bob Arum right now, he's a very smart man. He's going to come up with some way to maximize this fight so he could get paid the most amount of money as possible, because this is his last opportunity, because Crawford's contract is up in 2021. It's done. It's done. So that fight, I think that fight is going to have to be made before 2021, because otherwise that means that Bob Arum took on a fighter and didn't really make a dime off of him. And I don't think he's going to go out like that, because he's just an old stubborn man.
Yo, before we end in Coach K, we got my man Coach K coming. Happy birthday to Bob Arum. It's his birthday today. Just letting everyone know. I'm gonna put a picture up in here, so we're gonna give Bob Arum, you know what I'm saying, even though we disagree with him many years, but boy, Bob Arum been in boxing for the longest. So shout out to Bob Arum on his birthday. So
he legend.
Yeah.
Bob Arum is a legend.
Happy birthday, yo, bastard.
Hey, he's a legend, man. Hey, you don't stick around this long because you're stupid. You stick around this long because you know what you're doing, man. Shout outs to Bob Arum, man. You know, you're a legend, man. I respect you in the game.
Hey, man. Hey, and introducing my man Coach K. I'm sure he has something to say. Go ahead, Coach K.
We talking Spence in the Earl Spence and Crawford situation, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's simple. You know, we know what it is. You know, if you like Earl Spence and you're a fan of Earl Spence, he's most likely going to be right in your mind, and the opposite for Crawford. But for me, you know, Earl Spence has put in the work right now. He got both of the belts. I feel like probably one of the most consistent guys on here. When Keith Thurman had 2 belts, people didn't have the same sentiment for him when it came to negotiation. He was a bitch. He was this. He was that. They was giving the guy a hard time with a whole bunch of excuses why. So now that Earl Spence has both belts, I'm gonna say it again. He is the man. Just like I said, Keith Thurman was the man. Just like I said, Mayweather was the man. Anybody that collect the belts, man, and do what they got to do, they the man. I'm consistent. My problem comes in with the inconsistency. But that's life. You know, dudes gonna do what they want to do for their best interest and say what they want to say for their best interest. But the reality is that the man put in work. And Terence Crawford, for me, Terence Crawford ain't got to do nothing. He a grown man. We all get this. But you got respect from 135. We universally feel like you were the man. You moved up. You undisputed at 140. Congratulations, been done. And now you do got to pay a level of homage to the guys that's at the weight class. That's just being fair. That's just being reasonable. If there are 2 black guys, they could come down. If we want to go on that angle, they could come down and sit down. Crawford, you know, my message would be, hey, brother, you're pound for pound number 1. Absolutely. And the reason you're pound for pound is the reason we want to see the fight with you on Earl Spence, as well as Pacquiao and maybe even possibly Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. You have a lot of work to do at 147. Yes, you beat Jeff Horn. We get it. Okay, we understand all that. Yes, you stopped Kell Brook, but you're on a come up. You know what I'm saying? You're on a come up. EJ fought Kell Brook on the come up. You understand what I'm saying? And then we know how hard it is to pin down Kell Brook. Kell Brook and Amir Khan ain't even gave us the fight of their lives. You understand what I'm saying? So we get it. So my position is EJ has 2 belts. He should get to 60-40. That's just fair. He's currently the number 1 welterweight in the division to me because he's undefeated. He got both belts and he's willing to fight people. Crawford, I feel that Crawford is strong, a strong on 2. I know people can argue about what about Pac? But that Jeff Horn loss does play a role. So I got him at 3. You know, I know he beat Keith Thurman, but I still got Pacquiao at 3. But number 2 for me is Crawford, and I think he deserves a 60-40 split. I think that's fair. And then I'm pretty sure it's going to be other issues with who name's going to go first, where they're going to fight at. There's going to be a lot of issues negotiating between these 2 stubborn guys.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, bro, you like we spot on. Like we see it out of our.
Yeah. That sounds good. I like that.
Yeah, we see it out of our. I mean, look, bro, it is what it is. Just like I said, it's just like what Phil just said. So a lot of fans, they are on the Spence side or they're either on the Crawford side, and they just want to ignore everything that's going on with the business of boxing, fam. And that's just the facts. Like we can't ignore the crap Bob Arum is doing, and neither on the other side either, because crap is going on there. Look, you can't sit here and just. And I'm a Spence fan. I'm a huge Spence fan, but we can't sit here and listen to Spence say the things he say, but then come back and say, well, y'all got to go talk to Al. Okay, if that's who they got to go talk to, then we got to say that Al Heyman ain't doing what he doing and Bob Arum ain't doing what he doing, because we don't have to ask who we got to talk to with Crawford. We know that he's an employee, or not employee, but he has handlers. So we don't talk to Crawford to make the fights. We talk to Bob Arum. Spence is saying, y'all got to go call Al. Well, then that's what we need to put the blame at. Al and Bob. Not Spence and Crawford, Al and Bob. But fans don't want to do that. They want to blame the other fighter.
Hey, y'all got everyone's got that out of their system now. So let's talk about what we came in for, and I guess we can wrap it up, man. Been here for 2 and a bit. So we can start with Coach K, because you know he just jumped on. Coach K, who you got out this fight between Anthony Joshua and Kubrat Pulev? My man, Coach. He's on mute. Okay, let's start with man D Jefferson. Go ahead.
Yeah, fam. Appreciate you for having me on too, EJ. I look, man. I don't see a chance in hell for Pulev to win this fight. I gotta be honest. The only thing he has is a jab. He does have a good jab, but Kubrat Pulev doesn't throw in combinations. He'll hit you with a 1-2. He might hit you with a jab hook, and that's the most you're going to get out of him. Anthony Joshua, especially from the mid-range, he throws punch combinations. He has a beautiful uppercut from the mid-range. You know, he has hooks with both hands. He just brings so much more to the table than Pulev. And I feel like he's going to stop him and say like 5 rounds. I think I'm going to pick round 5 tonight. I don't see no chance for Pulev. And all that nonsense, Bob and them talking he's the best shape of his life. Man, that man's ticking on 40 years old. Anthony Joshua going to put him away tonight.
I got my man Houston, yo. Houston, stand up, man. Phil. Go ahead, Phil Walker.
What's up, man? Hey, look, again, man, you know, appreciate you having me on the show, man. You know, we talk every day, though, EJ, but, you know what I'm saying? I still like coming on the show and politicking with different people, man. I appreciate you allowing me to do that. So as far as the Pulev and Anthony Joshua fight, let me say this right here. I do think Pulev does possess one asset that AJ typically has an issue with, right? And that's the jab. The only thing about Pulev that he's lacking, and if he could bring this into his repertoire, is what he does after he throws good jabs, right? What kind of combinations can Pulev throw off of the jab, right?
Exactly.
The thing that Pulev doesn't possess to me is the lack of combination. And when he throws his jab, it's a nice, stiff, straight jab. But to me, he doesn't bring it back fast enough. So a lot of times you can counter him fairly easy off him throwing a jab. Okay, which hints indicates why he gets hit so much, because he's kind of one of these fighters that is just like I'm gonna keep doing what I do well, and however the fight turns out is how the fight turns out. So he pumps the jab. Every now and then he throws some power shots, but he's never throwing any kind of 3-punch combinations or anything like this. He does that fairly rarely if he has a guy hurt, possibly, right? I think personally Anthony Joshua is just overall just more skillful than he is. I think Anthony Joshua is a bigger puncher than he is. I think Anthony Joshua is probably going to be in better shape than he is. He has youth on his side. So for me personally, I think what it's going to come down to is how long can Kubrat Pulev survive off of that jab? Okay? How long can he survive off of that jab? How long can he survive without getting countered by Anthony Joshua with the hook or a straight right or something down to the body? I mean, it's limitless as far as what Anthony Joshua can do on the counter to Kubrat Pulev, because he's a basic fighter. Doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad fighter, but he's just basic. And I think Kubrat Pulev's survival is going to be determined on how much he can miss. How much Anthony Joshua is going to miss his face, which historically it'll tell you that it's fairly easy to hit Kubrat Pulev in the face. So I think AJ has a great chance of stopping Kubrat Pulev at the second half of the fight. So I'm going to go with AJ. I'm going to say TKO. I say about round 8.
All right. Coach K?
Yeah. I got AJ. It ain't really too much to break down and analyze with this kid, man. AJ should be establishing himself in a class above the rest. I mean, we know what it is. We know the ultimate goal is to get the big three fighting each other amongst Wilder, Fury, and AJ. I mean, that's what it boils down to. It. And I think they're all doing a good job. I think the heavyweight division is in a good space. I mean, outside of a couple of attitudes on who's cheating and all that kind of stuff, it's pretty straight. So I'm curious to see AJ go ahead and get this guy out of here, look good doing it, and go into the possible Tyson Fury fight with momentum. And I think that's going to be a good match for Undisputed if that's the path that both of those guys intend to take.
100%. So I'm gonna give my take on it. Shout out to everyone in the chat, by the way. I said this was gonna be the last one, but I think I'm gonna do one more because I think we can bring one more topic after this one, right? So what's it? EJ ain't done, yeah, no work, yeah, this afternoon. Y'all funny, bro. All right, so this is what we're gonna say about this one, right? This is gonna be a matter of character. Now, Joshua in the last, should I say, a year, showed real mental toughness and character about him. When he lost to Ruiz, yeah, I mean, a lot of people saying he had mental fragility. I remember that guy, David Higgins or whatever his name was, Joseph Parker training, that he ain't mentally strong. Wilder saying, man, he a light-skinned dude. He ain't about that. I'm a bomb squad. I'm loud. And this, that, the other. But the one thing about like boxing, especially the opponents Joshua's faced, a loud mouth talking this stuff. Joshua's come back, yeah, and showed to himself, not anyone else, to himself, that he has character by himself, that he can come from a defeat, took all the negativity, which he did. He took a lot of negativity, they need to get rid of his coach. I'm trying to say he need to change this, change that, come back and rewrite a wrong that he made a mistake in the fight. And now he come out of the fight and say to himself, you know what? Yeah, good. And he's more stability. He's got boxing people around him. He's in the best shape of his life. He's in the prime of his life. And he's going to do a job, a real spectacular job on my man Pulev. And you see Pulev's whole thing is like, well, I've seen you get knocked down. I can beat you. Well, bruh, let me tell you something. You coming in with that IQ, but you don't like you coming in. Yeah, you've seen him get knocked down, but what you ain't realized is that the man came off the canvas, came stronger. So let's look at you. Let's look at you, Pulev. What did you do when you got your left hook from Vladimir Klitschko? How did you rebound? So let's figure Let's think about that. Let's think about that. Did you come back mentally? Did you ask for a rematch? Did you want to go against Vladimir again? You didn't want none of that smoke. Nah, if anything, you ran the opposite way. Derek Chisora's and these guys that you're not even stopping. So you went the opposite way. And then your whole thing is, yeah, I was injured. See, he even made an excuse on the thing where I was listening to him very carefully. Oh, we were supposed to fight 3 years ago, but you know, I had an injury and this, that, the other. So what, bruh? I see people fight with one eye, this, that, the other. If you really believed you could beat him that time, you would have took it. You didn't believe you could beat him. But all of a sudden now you confident because you see Kung Fu Panda, Andy Ruiz, put Joshua down. But let me tell you something, bro. The Joshua you're facing is the worst Joshua you ever want. As a guy who's mentally strong, has his character. His character is more stronger than ever, and he has the perfect team around him. So I'm expecting Joshua to just bully this cat and do him. And Joshua still remembers. And then you can see by this picture there. They asked Kubrat Pulev, was one thing you like about Andy Joshua? He said, I like his tan. I don't know if you guys know about tan. He's basically talking about Joshua's skin tone.
Right, yeah.
Very disrespectful. And everyone knows that. And now I was saying to myself, okay, so you know the UK fans were set for him, right? So then all of a sudden now he up here with a black trainer from the States. Okay. And the reason why you do that now is to say, oh, we're not on that. So this guy's all about trying to play little mind games and dude, you gonna get served up like curry, like some curry goat, bro. Hey, some jollof rice. All the Jamaicans, the Nigerians, and all the people around the world, especially from the UK side, we fit in here to see a beating, a Christmas roasting, a Christmas turkey come Christmas, and you're going to get the ass whipping and get it royally. Everyone who's listening says, make sure you pay for the pay-per-view, right? It's worth your money to see this guy get dealt with and see his ass out the division. He's a Neanderthal. He's racial, and I don't really like how he operates. I don't care you fighting for your pops and this, that, the other. You trying to get some storyline in there. You ain't even they asked him, are you gonna knock out Joshua? No, I don't think I'm gonna outpoint him. You ain't outpointing no AJ. AJ ain't trying to look at outpointing you either. AJ gonna put hands on you, dude. AJ's favorite fighter is Mike Tyson. But what they try to say to AJ, you know, you need to be more like Vladimir, you know, take your time and do that. He tried to be like that, and then he didn't work. So AJ in his mind is looking at this dude. I'm going to serve him up. I don't like him. I don't like what he stands for. You know, in Bulgaria, the England team got disrespected. They were throwing bananas onto the pitch when they were playing a soccer game. And the Bulgarian fans are like that as well. So we ain't got no love for you, bruh. We ain't got no love for you. I don't think you know, even though the Matchroom are treating you respectfully, I understand that, but I ain't got no respect for you, bruh. And I hope you get a beating. And I remember when Derek Chisora went over there to face you, and one of your cornermen threw a bottle at Derek Chisora's face, and Derek went to whoop one of your cornermen's ass. I know what you about, bruh. You and them Euro players there that think you're better than certain people because they have a darker tone than you. You're going to find out come Saturday night. I'm going to tell you that for now. So that's my take on this. But as I said, I was going to finish on that, but I forgot one more thing for the panel and get D. Jefferson. So we're talking about Felix Verdejo. He's fighting against a Japanese guy, Nakafa, or whatever his name. I know D. Jefferson.
Nakatani.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one, and then we're going to talk about Shakur Stevenson. He got a rough test as well. I don't know if you guys know about that one, but first off, D. Jefferson. So the guy who Teofimo Lomas fought, the Japanese guy that everyone was high on and saying, well, look how he struggled with him. How's he going to beat Lomo? He fighting Felix Verdejo. So you go first on your prediction. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Teofimo Lopez and I talked to you about this earlier, EJ. There was no respect for the opponent. People just the fact that they didn't know anything about Masayoshi Nakatani is why they didn't really give Teofimo respect for that. People were down at Teofimo like, you struggle with this guy, you ain't gonna beat Lomachenko. But that's the shit that's the stuff that I'm talking about with fighters. You have to have those type of fights. That fight that Teofimo had with Nakatani was not a fight that hindered him for Loma. That was a fight that helped him, because you have to face these types of adversities and attrition to get to that next level. You got to know what you'll have difficulties with. So Masayoshi Nakatani pushed Teofimo to the limit. He's going to beat Verdejo. He is going to beat Verdejo because Teofimo didn't just beat some regular fighter. He beat a good, valid boxer. This kid is tall. He has pop. His hands are fast. He does more than just throw a jab, because I heard people say he throws a jab. No, he throws combinations. He goes to the body. He gets in and out, and I'm telling you now, he's going to beat Felix Verdejo. And he's going to stop him. I believe he's going to stop him probably 8 or 9. He's going to stop him.
All right, cool, man. Go ahead, Phil.
All right, man. Let me say this right here. Well, I got let me say it like this. I got Felix winning, right? And just for me personally, man, I just think he's gonna outpoint him. I think it'll probably be a split decision, but I think he'll outpoint him. I think the what's his name?
Nakatani, man.
Yeah, Nakatani. Yeah. I think he's a good fighter, man. I do think he's a good fighter, but for me personally, he's one of those kind of fighters that I think he's going to be consistent the entire fight because he's a very consistent fight. He's going to give you what he's going to give you, but as far as him making adjustments, I don't know if he can make adjustments like mid-fight through. He's kind of one of those guys. He's going to go in with a game plan and he's going to execute it to the best of his abilities, which he really is a good boxer. I mean, he showed that against Lopez, right? So, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the guy. I mean, you know, his greatest asset is that he's super rangy, right? He's super rangy and he knows how to fight at range. Let's be honest about it. He's not one of those guys that's rangy and he can't fight at range. He knows how to fight at range, and he could take a good punch. So I mean, at the end of the day, I do respect him as a fighter. I just don't know how he's going to be able to adapt mid-fight to adjustments, and I think that is going to hamper him in the second half of the fight. And this is why I'm going with Felix by split decision. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes.
All right, Coach King.
Yeah. So really to touch on both questions or statements that you had said about AJ, I agree with the character thing too, man. I think that's very important. I think a lot of people give AJ a hard time about his character, but I like what he's doing. And just to keep this all in perspective, I don't think anybody that's a true boxing fan thinks anybody at heavyweight with no other options. These guys can't duck and dodge and play the division hopscotch type of thing, the do-si-do. They can't do that. They have to fight each other. So we all expect these guys to have losses and bounce back tough because they're the big unit. So I agree with your assessment on AJ. I agree with that 100%. Now, Felix, I like Felix. I'm a big Felix fan. The only thing about Felix that I have a problem with is taking him too long to cross over into the high-level contingency phase. And I think this is the fight that is going to let me know some things personally about Felix. I expect Felix to go in here and at least put on a good unanimous decision type of performance, maybe even if he could get a stoppage to get some type of separation for himself and the contenders. I need this guy to get into the mix with these other guys because he's been around for a while, and I expect more from him as of now. So my thing is I'm going with a decision for Felix, a good decision, and I think he should be stepping up after this fight.
100%, man. Nice breakdown, bro. All right. I'm gonna give my thing, and then we're gonna talk about Shakur Stevenson. So this is all Friday, by the way. I was gonna talk about the Ashley Fairfield and Sam Adrian, but I know that most of you Americans ain't covering it. I don't know if you are. If you are, I could mention it, but like if you're not covering it, this cool. Don't worry about it. We get this one in. All right. So we go. My breakdown on this one, bro. I've been watching Felix Verdejo for the longest when he came at the Olympics, and I always thought he was gonna be the next Puerto Rican star. Apparently, like, you know, obviously he had a crash and he got injured and stuff like that. So he kind of derailed. He came back, he lost. And they rebuild with Ishmael Salas. Ishmael Salas is the guy who helped Joe Joyce. And I'm looking for this. This is going to be a good, hard, solid fight. And I agree with Phil. He going to be consistent, consistent pace, consistent the whole time through the fight. But I think Felix Verdejo going to win on points by probably the nice decision. And it's going to be a good test for him to see how he's going to come back, to see how he's going to be able to challenge some of the guys like Teofimo Lopez and Tank Davis and the rest of the guys in the divisions, because to see how he goes. And I really would like to see him versus what's his name again? What's the his guy. What's the guy's name again? Javier Fortuna. I like to see that fight. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind seeing that fight, but he needs to. I think that fight will be a good fight. You know what I mean? But yeah, I got him by points. All right. The main event on that card is Shakir Crybaby Stevenson, is what I call him because he always crying, versus Toyoko Khan Claire. Was it Clara? Clara, is that his name? Takaka Khan Clara. That's the main event. I looked at his record. The guy is pretty durable. You know what I mean? He's the only thing he got against him. He's old, but like other than that, he's very durable. He ain't fought for a long while, so that's the next fight. What's it? D Jefferson stepped out. Coach K, you know about the fight, the main event?
Yeah. When it comes down to Shakur Stevenson, man, and the rest of them guys collectively, I'm just sorry I'm not sold on any of them. Right now, I'm just watching these guys to see who's gonna come out when the smoke clear. And I know that's not an ideal answer, but I'm just not feeling those guys, man. I mean, I defer to you guys on Shakur Stevenson and the Tanks and those guys who are playing games at those lower weight classes because it's the same song and dance. I can't stomach politics in 5 or 4 or 3 divisions. That's too much for me. So when it comes to Stevenson and the rest of those guys, his peers, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch and I'm going to see what they do. Shakur should go ahead and put on a good performance. He should take it away and do what he got to do. But I'm just not sold on him yet. None of them at that weight class, personally. But he should UD the guy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see. He's they trying to build him like in a Mayweather type fashion. He's outpointing people, taking his time. He's loving the sweet science. He's trying to become a ring general. But I don't know if that era still applies for as viewership because I don't think too many people are looking for the 4 corners offense right now. I think trying to fight like Mayweather is not going to work. In that pity pat, getting on your unicycle, trying to 9-10 somebody every round with 3-4 jabs here and there. I don't know if that's going to work. So Chris Stevenson by unanimous decision.
Okay. Hey, 100%, man. Nice breakdown, coach. Hey, man. And we're gonna find out. My man D Jefferson's battery ran out on his lap, so that's why he jumped out. But he did drop right now. He got Shakir Stevenson winning by unanimous decision. So we're gonna find out. Hey, big out to my man. Speak Your Mind Sports Talk with my man D Jefferson. Make sure if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you subscribe. That's my man D Jefferson. Always came over here. And hey, listen, he ain't been over for a minute, but it was a good debate between him and Phil. Make sure you check that out later on. Okay, let's move on to my man Phil and see who he got. Go ahead, Phil. You got go ahead.
All right, man. Y'all, man, come on, man. Y'all know I'm sold on Shakir Stevenson, right? Y'all gotta know this by just talking to me, right? Every single day. So for you guys who don't know, I'm absolutely 100% sold on Shakir Stevenson. I think his maturity level inside the ring is like nothing I haven't seen in a very, very long time. I think he does everything that he needs to do inside of the ring. I think he's a complete fighter. He goes to the body. He throws his jab. He throws in combinations. He has respectable power. He has excellent footwork. So for me personally, I am sold on Shakir Stevenson. The only thing that I need from Shakir Stevenson is to have that one fight that makes me say, oh my God, this kid is absolutely without a doubt the real deal. And I don't think this is the fight to make me do that. I am sold on his skills, but he should win this fight fairly easy. Unanimous decision without a doubt. Don't get me wrong. Khan is definitely a durable guy. As EJ mentioned earlier, he is durable. He's been around the block. He's gonna come to fight. He's gonna come to fight without a doubt. I just don't think he possessed the skill level to compete with Shakur. Sometimes you can have a good fight, but it can be fairly one-sided. I think this is probably what's going to go down when these guys fight. I think they fight tomorrow, right? Yeah, so I think that's what's going to go down when these guys fight one another. I think it'll be a good fight, but I think it'll be heavily in favor of Shakir Stevenson. But Khan, because of his experience, because he is rugged, because he does come to fight, I think he'll try to give Shakur all that he can handle. You understand what I'm saying? Just as far as sticking around, just kind of like that nagging fly that won't go away. You can squash him at any given time, but you gotta, take your time. You gotta follow him. It's just a lot easier just to keep waving him away. You know what I'm saying? So I think it'll be a situation like that. He's gonna be around. And Shakur is just gonna have to just keep waving him away and just outboxing him the entire time. But he's gonna nag Shakur Stevenson for all 12 rounds. But UD Shakur all day long.
Okay, I'm gonna give my final breakdown, and we're gonna wrap up. We're gonna wrap up for today. I'm going with Shakir Crybaby Stevenson. I think it'll be a hard, durable fight for him, and I think Bob Arum. Hold on, 1 second. I got my food, man. 1 second, guys. Yes, sir. Yeah. All right, so I got Shakir Crybaby Stevenson winning that joint by winning on points. I think it'll be a hard fight for him. I think it's a good fight for the fans because you're gonna test Shakir Stevenson. I'm gonna put it out there. I won't be surprised if he got upset and lost the fight. I wouldn't be surprised because the fight is that tough. And I won't be surprised if Shakir Stevenson starts crying after he loses again. That one I won't be surprised about. But I'm gonna put my neck out. He should win on points and a hard, grueling fight that he can learn a lot and go forward. I agree with Coach K. He doing a rat-a-tat-tat combination, running, doing the four corners. If you don't know about four corners, Coach Smith from North Carolina is when you win, is you run the clock down when you have a good lead and you just take your time. We don't want to see that. We like full court press out here. And Shakir Stevenson, to me, all the attributes he has from the Olympics where he point scores, he ain't shown no real power. He got a good body shot, but these guys he's supposed to beat. This is a very durable fight, a very good fight for TV, and that's what it's about, building your fight. And we're going forward in that. So I got Shakir Stevenson winning on points. I'd like to thank everyone who came over. My man D. Jefferson, my man Phil Walker, my man Coach K. Coach K, I see you I see you put your thoughts on your channel again. So I was happy to see you upload your stuff. Tell people where they can find you if they want to, so they can sub. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we are getting it back together, man. It's under construction. So just come on over to Coach K. Just type it in. My name used to be Zone 6, but the platform is Zone 6. That's the area. We finna get back on the round table things, bring some real debates back in. And we finna get this equipment going and get it cracking. I'm just testing out some stuff today. So we'll see, trying to get the mic ready with the laptop. You know how the game go. So just follow me, Coach K. You know me as Zone 6 or whatever the case may be. Just type it in and I'll be there. I just uploaded 2 videos. I'll probably upload some more over the weekend. So that's where I'm at.
And you know what? That's a good idea. You just got your new mic in there. You got your new equipment, and it's always good to have your voice over there to balance up the energy. Because sometimes when you're in a debate, and I heard you over there on the Blood Channel, you can't always get your voice sometime out. And you're like, I don't even want to be debating. No, I just want to have my voice. I just want to have my opinions out there. You know what I mean? And we always appreciate your opinions out there from your perspective. You know what I'm saying? My man Phil Walker. Yo, man, tell people, obviously we know where we can find you on everyone's hangout, but big shout out to Houston, Texas. They on a run right now. I must admit, Houston's on a good run. You got the Charlos, you got Errol Spence Jr., you know what I'm saying? The Houston Rockets, on the other hand, that's different. But hey, Phil, so tell people where they can find you, and go ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You just said where you can find me, man. On everybody's hangout, man. I'm always around, willing to talk boxing, willing to bring some logic to boxing, willing to put emotion to the side and just, speak straight boxing. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Texas right now, we definitely on the run right now. We just got to keep it up though. It's about longevity and everything that you do. Right. I don't care what it is. So, yeah, right now we sitting at the top. You know what I'm saying? As far as, having 2 unified champions, actually in the same camp, So, even when you go look at the top 10 fighters, top 10 list, we got 3 fighters in the top 10 list, 2 of them unified. So, yeah, we on a good run right now, but we got to stay consistent and we can't let that, distract us. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, I appreciate you allowing me to come on to your show, man. Again, you can find me on your channel, Zone 6, Boxing Talk, Dan the Man. Man, you can find me all over the place, man. I'm just always willing and excited to talk about boxing, up-and-coming fighters, veteran fighters, everything, man. I'm into it all.
100%, man. Well, we're going to finish how we started, man. With man AJ, when I interviewed him back in the days, his mentality, we're going to hear about his mentality. We're going to play my little Kung Fu music. But I like to fight the panel. They can stick around and listen. I ain't going nowhere after. You can stay on the chat after. So appreciate you guys in the comment section. All of you appreciate it. Make sure you thumbs up the video. Share it around. If you check it out on archive, enjoy the debate between Phil and D. Jefferson. That's a must listen. That was very enjoyable. And obviously, Anthony Joshua, man, we wish you luck going forward, man. Thanks for coming over. Peace.
Have you worked on that and you're gonna make it much easier, comfortable for yourself?
I hope so. I haven't so much worked on it because I've just taken any sparring I can get my hands on, long range fighters, short range fighters, but I just know I'm capable of keeping it long, like Klitschko did against Povetkin, or if I need to fight on the inside, I've done it against someone like Tyler.
Yeah.
All right. So do you reckon our fans are gonna see a stoppage? You reckon we get a stoppage?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm confident of it because when you look at certain fights and what made him get very it's not so much that he can't take a punch. It's just that you've got to tire him out and take his energy.
Yeah. All right. Message to the American fans over abroad. Obviously, you got a lot of support over there. Hopefully, one day you'll be over there.
Yeah.
Give a message to them, to the American fans over here in the Boxer West.
What's poppin'? Welcome to America. I'm a check in.
Thanks very much, AJ. Appreciate it, man. Nice one. Message to all the fans watching it. Wish them a Merry Christmas, and also why should they watch the fight?
You should watch this fight because this is what boxing's all about. This is about putting your O on the line. This is about putting what you believe on the line. You think you can win? Step up in the big fights and let's see it. You can talk the talk, but when the lights come on and you walk out the O2 Arena into a little ring 20 foot by 20 foot to fight another man, this is the pureness of the sport. Why boxing is the greatest sport in the world, bar none. Let's build the hype, let's watch the excitement, and let's see the purity of British boxing explode and unfold February the 3rd, O2 Arena.
Thanks very much, Eddie Hearn.
Don't waste your breath on a traitor. Let's finish him off. Just you have a try. You aren't any match for me, you dog. Son of a bitch!